Good morning. This is the World News in your premium talk radio. Today95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Buchi Rafwa. The headlines. Rights lawyer advocate for signing of execution order for murder convicted by River State government. Northern community in River State filed suit against Governor Nyesom Wike over arrest of members and seizure of their goods and trucks. Nostra identifies human pollution as cause of recent death of fishes in banks of ocean at the Delta, Rivers and Bios State. And on foreign scene, European Union predicts COVID-19 vaccine will be ready early next year. Now the details. Asia Kajiri and Michael Chuku from Rumekini community in Obiakwa local government area of River State have narrated their ordeal in the hands of members of Akbo Security Peace and Advisory Committee. Akajiri, who spoke to our correspondent from his sick bed, alleged that members of ASPAC came to his house to arrest him after he accompanied his tenant to retrieve the gas cylinder, which was seized by the local vigilante during the lockdown. Akajiri said he was brutalized by the ASPAC members, after which his mother was made to pay the sum of 7,000 naira before his release.
My tenant carry gas, won't go fee. Ospark man stop him. I said, landlord wanna be. I say, I sent me the boy. He say, no, daddy from school road. I say the boy. And I tell him, me no worry. Say I know the boy. So me and I come follow. Go the boy house for evening. We no see the boy. What we see now in wife on Sunday. Ospark come with motor and the machine. Come carry me. Go for service center remaking. Flog me well. Tie me rope well. On my body. Let me say I go pay 25,000 naira. That 25,000 naira. What my mother used to pay me that day. Na 7,000. So that remaining money. They say if I no bring them 20th of this month, say, and then I don't force me to enter court, Iceland court, it been their court. Say, if I no take it, I will say 20th of this month, say they will come there, come shoot my mother, shoot me. So make government come help me because I no get papa. My mother and I found way with the work.
On his part, Michael Chuko alleged that the members of ASPAC took him to their camp and brutally wounded him after a confrontation that happened at his family structure being developed.
So that was yesterday. I was patrolling our family land. So unfortunately, I saw people that was doing work there. So I got to approach them. One other guy at Umodo School Road, he said that Ospaco sent him to come and take money for security papers. That they are the people that is taking the money for the security. I didn't argue with him. I didn't make any issue with the next thing. Ospaco came, and as they came, they started dragging me. That when I get to the they didn't ask me any question. They just push me inside and tie me rope, start flogging me, beating me, boom, tying me rope as if I'm a criminal.
When our correspondent Uchendu Ejowo contacted the commander of Akbo Aspak in charge of Rumekini, Rumosi and Ozoba Owunda, he said he is not aware of the act by his men, but assured that after investigation, anyone found wanting will face disciplinary action.
I think whatever thing that happens there, the one that I'm not aware, I want to find out. I want to see the person involved. Once any matter that happens there, they will report to me. Any that they will not report to me. When the person goes across, the person, I will have to see the person in question and what is alleging now, I'm not aware. Yeah, I'm telling you now, if there's anything to contrary, I have to report my matter too.
Spokesman of River State Police Command on his part, DSP Namdi Omoni, said the police will investigate and deal with anyone involved in violation of human rights, just as he warned the local vigilante to be civil. King has argued that for the need for government to sign the execution order for authorities to enforce the execution judgment of a court. King, in an interview with our correspondent Ifunaya Bemandukwe, said it is sad and a waste of time for convicts sentenced to death to remain in prison after the judge had exhausted his energy to conclude a murder trial. The human rights lawyer was reacting to the conviction of Ifeanyi Dike over the murder of 8-year-old Victory Chikamso in Eliozo community, Port Harcourt, that's in since 2017.
We face a firing squad. This one is hanging by the neck, according to the Constitution. There's nothing wrong with that. I am a human rights advocate. But I believe that anybody who openly, brazenly, intentionally kills another, not by accident, not by self-defense, he should die. The person should be killed. I'm not among those human rights advocates that said we should abolish death penalty. Let me ask a question. America that you are hearing that have abolished death penalty in some states, are you aware that they sentence people to 200 years, 300 years, 500 years? So what is the difference? As far as I know, Odele did not sign for any execution. Amechi did not sign. Omeha did not sign in his short period. Wike have not signed anybody to go and execute anybody. And the governor must sign before anybody will be executed. So it's the governor that we are waiting for now to sign. I will sue the governor, sue all of them. If you don't want to sign, release them. That's the way I'm thinking also. Because they're already under psychological torture for all these years.
While commending the trial judge, Justice Adolphus Enebele, for the speedy case is the fastest, which he said, if I indicate case is the fastest criminal case he has seen. A trial judge, Justice Adolphus Enebele, in his judgment, ruled that the second-year student of the Department of Physics in the University of Port Harcourt, DK, should be hanged by his neck, while the second convict, Ugochukwu Nwamiro, be hanged by his legs. A state high court sitting in Port Harcourt will, on the 27th of May 2020, deliver judgment on a suit brought by a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Ego Aguma, against the party and its national leadership, led by Adams Oshomole. Aguma had approached the court to secure an injunction stopping the ward, local government and state congresses that was scheduled late last year, demanding that reconciliation be done before any congress, amongst other prayers. Our correspondent Uchendu Ejowo reported that the presiding judge, Justice George Omerichi, adjourned till the 27th of May for judgment after parties presented their final written addresses. In the meantime, one Dele Moses and 9 others have, in another suit, dragged the APC and its national chairman, Adams Oshomole, to court. The plaintiffs are asking the court to interpret the judgment of Chiwendu Nwogo and declare them the authentic members of the party to conduct primaries and occupy various wards, local government and state executives. Our correspondent reported that when the matter came up in court, the presiding judge, Justice George Omerichi, asked the representative of the parties led by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Tuduru Ede for APC and Henry Bello for Dele Moses and 9 others to regularize the papers and return to court on the 20th of May 2020 for hearing. You would recall that one Ibrahim Umar and 22 others had approached the court seeking almost the same prayers of Dele Moses and 9 others, which was struck out by Justice Olo, who ruled that no court has the power to interpret the judgment or internal party affairs. The All Progressive Congress in Rivers State has asked the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, to subject members of the People's Democratic Party who attended the inauguration of the new executive to isolation. The immediate past publicity secretary of APC, Chris Feinborn, who made the call, stressed the need for contact tracing of those who have come in contact with PDP members to ascertain their COVID-19 status. Feinborn said the call became necessary following the fact that the rule of social distancing was not observed during the inauguration of the party executives, which held at the Obiwale International Center, Port Harcourt. Feinborn also described Governor Nyesom Wike's fight against COVID-19 as a scam, alleging that the ease of the lockdown and extension to Sunday was only for the benefit of the alleged inauguration and Thanksgiving of the newly elected executive of PDP in the state.
So my reaction to the lockdown, unlocking, extension of the break and its relocking from Sunday night is that the Rivers State government fight against COVID-19 is just one huge scam. I mean, how can the government ease the lockdown just because of PDP status quo inauguration on Wednesday and now extending the break to cover Sunday so that the party can hold its Thanksgiving? One may ask, without the Sunday Thanksgiving, would the governor have considered the plight of the suffering masses? Of course, the answer is no. Most worrisome is the total breakdown of social distancing at the Wednesday inauguration, which we have all seen. The governor is simply taking everyone on a ride to nowhere. Why the mixed messaging about coffee when we know that there is a subsisting nationwide coffee? Everything points to insincerity and double standard on the part of government.
A federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt will, on the 1st of June, hear a suit filed by the Northern Community in Rivers State against Governor Nyesom Wike. Justice E.O. Obile fixed the date to allow the plaintiff to put Governor Wike on notice. The Northern Community are demanding the sum of 100 million naira for the arrest of their kingsmen, including their livestock and trucks by Governor Wike, which they say is an infringement. Counsel to the arrested northerners, Eze Kwaniku, while speaking with newsmen, lamented the arrest by the governor, adding that the victims had waivers from the federal government. Kwaniku also alleged that both his clients and their livestock have been arrested and dumped at the isolation center without food and medications for over 1 week.
And since then, they have been there. They have not been feeding. Even the cows and the goats and the other, they also not been. They have not been fed, including their owners. These are items that are not restricted by the federal government. The court has said we should put the defendants, the respondents, on notice so that they will come and explain to the court why these businessmen should be arrested together with their wares. Well, the relief we are seeking is that these people should be released without condition so that they could go about their business. Well, we are making a financial demand of 100 million naira because they have been deprived of access to a lot of things. We have taken the governor to court, we have taken the attorney general to court, and the commissioner of police, because the police people that have are being used to arrest and then take them to the isolation center.
Leader of Northern Community in Rivers State, Alhaji Musa Saidu, on his part, decried the arrest and demanded their unconditional release.
That my people who are coming from the north doing their legitimate business with their cows and everything were arrested by the state government and taken to isolation centers illegally, because what they brought was essential commodities that were approved by the federal government. But now, as it is, for some days they have not eaten. Their cows too have not been eaten, and the other essential wares that they came with, and they were denied access. We deny access to see them. That's why we approach the court. We approach the court because the court is the only hope of the common man, so that we get justice. And we pray that the court that these people should be released unconditionally, so that let them go take care of themselves, because of they may contract disease.
Our correspondents report that the Rivers State Attorney General Zacchaeus Adango and the Commissioner of Police Joseph Mokand are joined in the suits. You are listening to the World News in Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Just stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, Voice of the People.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Voice of the People.
And we're back.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. You're still on to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. The National Oil Spills Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, has disclosed that toxics discharged into the ocean were responsible for the death of multitude of croaker fish washed ashore the Atlantic Ocean. NOSTRA said its findings reveal that the toxics could have emanated from the land, observing that waste from domestic and industrial sources were usually emptied into the water. Director General of NOSTRA, Idris Musa, in a statement insisted that the toxicity found in the dead fishes and water samples was caused by pollution from heavy metals from industrial and domestic waste. He said that the relevant government agencies with mandates on the marine environment collaborated with NOSTRA to undertake the study, listing the agencies involved as the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nigeria Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency. Musa said having ruled out oil pollution as caused for the dead fishes, the plausible cause could partially be attributable to other human-related pollution activities which were based on land. The banks of the ocean of Delta, rivers, and Bayelsa State were recently filled with the dead croaker fish, creating uproar in the Niger Delta region and forcing the regulatory agency to launch an investigation into the cause of the development. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says people within the age of 31 to 40 years age bracket are more vulnerable to contracting the coronavirus in the country. NCDC, in a report made available to the media, said that data also showed that men were 2 times more likely to get the virus, as shown in its latest demographic data on COVID-19 confirmed cases and death by gender and age in the country. According to the report, older people die more due to several factors from underlying ailments. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has said the school feeding claims by the federal government, even when schools are shut due to COVID-19 pandemic, is a huge scam. The PDP stated that it is an alleged scheme by the leaders of APC and some officials in the presidency to siphon and targeted 13 billion naira public funds to finance their lifestyle. The PDP, in a statement by International Publicity Secretary Kola Olubodiyan, described the use of school children as cover to allegedly divert not less than 679 million naira daily to private purses as sacrilegious, wicked, and completely unpardonable. And on foreign scene, the European Union Medicines Agency has said that a COVID-19 vaccine could be approved in about a year in an optimistic scenario. EMA fears that it may not have sufficient supplies, especially if a vaccine were developed in the United States or China. The head of vaccines at the European Medicines Agency, Marco Cavalieri, said the agency is in communication with 33 developers with the aim of speeding up the process. He ruled out the possibility of skipping the third phase of a vaccine trial, which he said would be needed to be sure a vaccine was safe and effective. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. A rights lawyer, Osihaya King, has advocated for the signing of the execution order for murder convict by the River State government. A northern community in River State has filed a suit against Governor Nyesom Wike over the arrest of their members and the seizure of their goods and trucks. Nostra has identified human pollution as the cause of the recent death of fishes in the banks of ocean at Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa State. And on the foreign scene, we told you that the European Union has predicted that a COVID-19 vaccine will be ready by early next year. And that was the news edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 081-5341-8657 or 081-4434-3502. Send your emails to news at todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. Thanking you for listening. I am Buchira for today's Quest is on. Good morning and do stay tuned.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Imbere bate.
Imbrate ikemingba ibaribo.
Abiobela.
Pasisi kele beleta ko impre.
Abiobela emingba ikiawere mbekina mabu smete mekina gbowre bebo.
Ainate.
Abe wa moni ke tumo prete pi photo so gbolomam. Ye no ina wa jumo mere alate.
Ebentie, te epike bra kopre, te piko na photo so. Mben COVID-19 na masote meyere na. Oya moku ipoki. Coronavirus me anesita into bi de moku tonkringise. Jike bobi anito mimbar. Mben wa bare moni ke jumo prima. Mben wa bana bubele matanga in ben wa bare jumo kwekite anga ma wa na miai ma wa na bubele mate mie anga in ben sak men gbagoge wa sanitizer mie yuzu in ben wa piki osonke wa na bra sekre wa piki bai to mi borite smeuranga to minas mema and kuma me virus me nda ne ke wa na lawa bra nde wa mete nimba bra na wan late wa loba wa piki just like December and kuma enemy that offer the lie bebe pasisi NDCDC in ani COVID-19 miai ma mie ni ure
Kebe coronavirus me o kakaye wapra bolmate mi obi medicine wana mabio
no kume kom na fike bom na prapo and the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC.
Welcome to the Peak Breakfast Show, brought to you by Peak Milk. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Peak Breakfast Show. It's a show where we talk about the amazing success stories of some of the world's biggest and your favorite sports stars. We do this because we want to inspire you to be better and driven on the way to the peak of your career, because as Peak Milk always says, it's in you. You can listen to the show every Monday and Friday on the station, and of course at this time as we bring you success stories of some of your favorite sports stars to help inspire you in all you do. The show is brought to you by your favorite and nutritious Peak Milk, which contains 28 vitamins, including vitamins B1, B12, and iodine. It also comes in various packs and prices, so everyone can have a taste of it. Remember to go to a store near you as soon as you can to purchase some Peak Milk to keep you, your friends, and family healthy. On the show, we present you with the success story of a big sporting icon in the Peak Personality segment. We've also got the Peak Productivity Tip of the day, and we wrap things up with the Peak Milk Recipe of the day. Remember, guys, you can stay in touch with Peak Milk on social media. On Twitter, follow at Peak Milk, and on Facebook, of course, follow www.facebook.com/Peak Milk. Let's go on a break. When we come back, it'll be time to get into the Peak Personality of the day right here on the Peak Breakfast Show.
He's my son.
Hey, I know, Mama. He's also my husband.
Some people say wives and mother-in-laws don't get along well. They obviously haven't met my wife and my mom. They are practically like sisters.
Hey, Mama, you know that new shiny George material? I bought one for you and one for me.
And me, I've already seen 2 new shoes for both of us that will match.
Oh, Mama, thank you.
Wait, who's paying for it?
You, of course.
See what I mean? But if there's one place they are very different, it's in their choice of Peak Milk. While my mother likes Peak Filled for me, please, because it has low cholesterol, while my wife prefers
Peak Full Cream for me, honey,
because it's rich and creamy. So, whether it's Peak Filled Milk with its low cholesterol or Peak Full Cream that's rich and creamy, choose your Peak today.
Peak. Rich for your peak.
Good morning. Did you have your Peak breakfast today? Whether you're Team Peak Full Cream, who love their milk rich and creamy, or Team Peak Filled, who prefer their milk with low cholesterol, choose your Peak today. Preparing breakfast can bring up quite a few choices, like these ones. Would you prefer to have toast bread or tuna sandwiches? Would you prefer to have pap over oats? Would you rather have cereal or a nice steaming cup of coffee? Decisions, decisions, decisions. When it comes to breakfast, choosing the right nourishment matters. There are those who prefer milk that's low in cholesterol, who readily go for their favorite Peak-filled milk, and there's also another set of people who love their milk rich and creamy, and they go for the Peak Full Cream milk. So you ask, how will I know the difference? Well, that's quite simple. Just take a look at the bottom right corner of the pack. Every Peak Full Cream milk pack has a golden swirl at the bottom right corner, while the Peak Filled milk packs have a blue swirl at the bottom right corner. They also come in small sachets, evap tins, and large pouches. So whether you're Team Peak Full Cream, who love their milk rich and creamy, or Team Peak Filled, who prefer their milk with low cholesterol, go ahead and enjoy your ever-nourishing Peak milk however you choose. Reach for your peak.
It really gets me going.
And listen to the Peak Breakfast Show. Welcome back to the show. Let's get started with the Peak Personality of the day. And today we're talking about a striker, a legend of the game who banged in goals with reckless abandon. And of course, his presence on the field filled Nigerians with hopes of victory even when down with a kick to go. His name is none other than Rashidi Yekini. Rashidi Yekini was born on the 23rd of October in 1963 in Kaduna. And of course, he tragically passed away on the 4th of May 2012. He is regarded by many as Nigeria's best ever player after starring as a striker for the Super Eagles in a 15-year span between 1984 and 1998. His professional career, which spanned more than 2 decades, was mainly associated with Vitória de Setúbal in Portugal, but he also played in 6 other countries besides Nigeria. Now, his life and career is a veritable example that shows that irrespective of your background, you can rise to the peak of your career. Now, of course, Rashidi was born in Kaduna, and after starting his professional football career with UNTL Kaduna and Shooting Stars, where he scored 45 goals in 53 games, he also played for Abiola Babes, but eventually moved on to Côte d'Ivoire qualified to play for Africa Sports National. And from there, he moved on to Portugal and played for Victoria Setúbal, where he experienced some of his most memorable years. Now, he became the Premier League's top scorer in his final season in 1993-1994 season, when he scored 21 goals, as in the previous campaign he had also scored a career best 34 goals in 32 games to help the club gain promotion from the second division. Those performances earned him the title of the African Footballer of the Year, the first Nigerian to win that award. In the summer of 1994, after 4 seasons in Portugal, where he found the net 91 times in 114 appearances, Yekini was bought by Olympiacos, but he soon after featured for La Liga side Sporting Gijón, where he scored a scorcher against Real Madrid. But of course, he returned back to Portugal and to Setúbal, where he played an additional 14 games and scored 3 goals. In the 1997-1998 season, it was also glory for the goals king, as he scored 14 goals in 28 appearances for FC Zurich, despite being in his mid-30s. Eventually, he returned to Nigeria to feature for Julius Berger and Gateway FC, where he scored 7 goals in his final season as a professional footballer in 2005. Yekini had a glorious club career, and of course he was fondly remembered more for his exploits with the Super Eagles, where till this day he remains the highest goal scorer in Nigeria's history with 37 goals in 58 appearances. While with the team, he represented Nigeria in 5 major tournaments, including 2 World Cups, where he scored Nigeria's first ever goal in the competition. And of course, 1 year after being named the African Footballer of the Year, Yekini helped the Super Eagles win the 1994 African Cup of Nations in Tunisia, where he also topped the goal chart and was named the best player in the competition. Yekini is remembered for being a source of hope and inspiration to all professionals across all sports, and of course his eye for goal and hunger for goals was second to none. We're going to break. When we come back, it'll be time for the peak productivity tip of the day.
Hey, when I just start this my mechanic work, me and my oga, we be like cat and mouse. Every time, not so shout.
Moshood, where the 10-11 flats now?
As time con dey go, me and my oga, we con gel well. When we watch ball, na the same team we dey support. If we want con chop, na the same kind food. Especially Shaki and Bokoto, we get PhD. But on top all our collabo, our milk dey different. As my oga, they like pig-filled milk, ready for blue sachet. It con get low cholesterol. Why me, Atanda Gidigba, on top pig full cream milk, where they rich, come dey creamy well. Make yourself begin to choose your peak today.
Peak. Rich for your peak.
Good morning. Did you have your peak breakfast today? For milk that's rich and creamy, choose Peak Full Cream Milk. And for milk that's low in cholesterol, choose Peak Filled Milk. Whatever you do, choose your peak today. When it comes to most things in life, people are often divided into 2 categories. Take writing, for example. You're predominantly left-handed or right-handed. If you play football, your left foot is either your predominant feet or it's your right. Of course, there are also those who can use both hands and feet efficiently, but everyone falls on one side or the other of the line. This also applies to other aspects of life, like your eating habits. For example, you're either one of those who pour their cereal in before adding milk, or you're one of those who add the milk and then pour the cereal in. But if there's one area where people are classified into 2 distinct groups, well, it's in how they prepare their breakfast. While some prefer to use their Peak Full Cream Milk that's rich and creamy and has a golden swirl at the bottom right corner, there's another group of people who love their Peak Filled Milk that's low in cholesterol and has a blue swirl at the bottom right corner. That's why Peak Milk has 2 distinct variants. The Peak Full Cream Milk that's rich and creamy, as well as the Peak Filled Milk that's low in cholesterol. Both of them come in small sachets. You can also get them in evaporated tins and large pouches. That way, when you choose any size that suits you, you can be rest assured that you're getting quality nourishment from Nigeria's #1 dairy brand, Peak Milk. So go ahead and choose your ever-nourishing Peak Milk today.
Peak Breakfast Show.
Success, motivation, nutrition. Welcome back to the show. Let's get to the peak productivity tip of the day. And today we're focusing on how to keep you focused at work. Now, of course, we did talk a few weeks ago about notifications, being careful and wary of how you let notifications on your phone distract you. But today we're going to knuckle down and focus specifically on emails. Of course, today we're saying manage your time better by reducing how often you check your emails. Now, of course, emails are important and they're a great medium of communication. But what you want to do perhaps is focus clearly on how you're managing your time and not spending all that time checking your your emails. So perhaps have different times during the day where you check your emails and leave the remaining bulk of time to focus simply on your task at hand at work. We hope that, of course, this helps you be even more productive whether or not you're working from home or working in the office. Let's go on a break. When we come back, it'll be time for the Peak Milk recipe of the day. Stick around.
Some people say wives and mother-in-laws don't get along well. They obviously haven't met my wife and my mom. They are practically like sisters.
Hey, Mama, you know that new shiny George material? I bought one for you and one for me.
Wait, who's paying for it?
You, of course.
See what I mean? But if there's one place they are very different, it's in their choice of peak milk. While my mother likes
Peak Field for me, please.
because it has low cholesterol, my wife prefers
Peak full cream for me, honey.
because it's rich and creamy. So, whether it's Peak Field milk with its low cholesterol or Peak Full cream that's rich and creamy, choose your Peak today.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Peak Breakfast Show. A little bit of everything you need to reach your peak. Welcome back to the show, guys. Here's the Peak Milk breakfast recipe of the day as we wrap things up right here on the Peak Breakfast Show. Today, it's a recipe for cupcakes. Now, here are the ingredients needed. You need a half cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1 cup of peak evaporated milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, here's how to prepare. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Cream, sugar, and butter together in the mixer until light and fluffy. Add eggs, 1 at a time, and vanilla, and then beat well to ensure to scrape the sides of the bowl. Now sift the flour and baking powder together and add alternately the flour and milk to the butter mixture. Use an ice cream scoop to properly size your cupcakes and scoop mixture into 24 cupcake liners. Bake for 20 minutes and voila, your cupcakes are ready. Remember to enjoy them with a cap of peak milk, and of course, maybe perhaps it's something you can try this weekend. And on that note, it's a wrap on today's edition of the Peak Breakfast Show. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing the show your way. If you enjoyed it, do tell a friend to tune in on Monday at the same time and on this dial as we present to you another exciting edition of the Peak Breakfast Show. Now, don't forget, you can always stay in touch with Peak Milk on social media by following at Peak Milk, and of course, liking the Peak Milk page on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Peak Milk. Until next week, when we come your way with another edition of the Peak Breakfast Show, stay healthy and keep taking the nutritious and delicious Peak Milk. Thanks for listening to the Peak Breakfast Show, brought to you by Peak Milk.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots, the moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
A beautiful morning to you all out there. Welcome to yet another edition of today's of Sports Attack, the weekend edition of Sports Attack on your premium news talk and sports radio station. Today 95.1 FM right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. It's a special edition, the edition that would usher us in to the return of European football with the German Bundesliga are set to kick off tomorrow. My name is Wisdom Obina. I'll be your anchor on the show this morning. Exciting stories I've got coming in from different facets of the global world of sports. Don't go anywhere because I'll be right back to serve you the juicy details right after these timeouts.
Hi everyone, my name is Ese Brume, Commonwealth and African long jump champion. You're listening to Sports Attack on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Don't touch that dial.
All right, we start off with electronic sports, where esports in Nigeria is a fast rising achievement. And with the current state of issues globally, sportsmen, women and fans alike have resorted to electronic gaming systems as substitutes for the physical events, with sports like football, F1 racing, basketball, etc. all being played across the world by players and fans from the comfort of their homes. Nigeria is definitely not left out. The president of esports Nigeria, Emmanuel Oyelakin, has spoken on the success of the body so far, relishing the fact that they have grown in leaps and bounds, especially as a result of the pandemic.
For obvious reasons, there has been a slowdown in the esports activities in Nigeria, and I'm talking about the physical activities. But you also have to remember that it's esports, it's electronic. We always have been playing online. So whether or not we're able to congregate physically at a location, it doesn't stop us from playing our games. Even before the lockdown took place, games have been happening online. And I can tell you that this time has actually been a time for esports to actually prosper. And also, if you look at the fact that the English Premier League also is not running anymore, and then they have resorted to the E-Premier League. And so everybody is seeing a substitute for the game that they love so much. And so the attention on Nigeria also is increasing. And also, we have a couple of esports programs coming up in Nigeria. So it just shows you that the amount of awareness that people had previously for esports has skyrocketed.
This year, the African continent will be the first continent to host World Esports Consortium's esports special program, Changing the People, Changing the World. And Oyelakin, who also spoke on a TV program monitored by Sports Attack, believes that the post-COVID-19 era will not pose a threat to the growth of esports in Nigeria, as they have structures already put in place to ensure its growth continues to scale upward.
Post-COVID, esports will come out even way stronger than it is right now. I say that because before now, there has been a lot of focus, especially in Nigeria, on playing in a physical location. Of course, there has been online gaming also, but now it is strictly online. What is there to learn? What are the skills they can acquire, at this time that maybe they're unable to go to school or they're unable to be at work, but they can learn those skills. And then by the time the lockdown is removed completely, everybody is, at a good place with esports.
As much as it is still growing in a lot of ways, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports has backed the esports body in Nigeria, urging the sporting community to tap into the fast-growing industry. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dari had earlier come out earlier in the week to state that it was time for Nigeria to plug into the multi-billion-dollar gaming world.
We must also begin to look at how we categorize present and non-present sports and explore how we can deepen interest in sports that lend themselves to e-participation, particularly the esports and gaming sector. The esports, as of 2019, was a 167 billion industry. The ministry is about concluding plans to introduce the esports and gaming as part of the sporting activities in this country, where people that have passion for different sports can make money. It is time, and the time is no better than now for Nigeria to plug into the esports world as it is.
Multiple Olympic champion Mo Farah says the postponement of the Tokyo Games to 2021 could work to his advantage, as the Briton will now have around 20 months to train for the defense of his 10,000-meter title, having switched his focus back to the tracks. The 37-year-old retired from track athletics in 2017 to focus on road marathons, but announced in November last year that he was returning for one more tilt at 10,000 meters gold. The target then was only a matter of months away, but the year's postponement due to the coronavirus pandemic has changed everything. Farah, who must still qualify, will be 38 by the time of the games in July and August next year, but is looking on the bright side of things.
Coming off the marathon and preparing for Olympics straight away within the first year, so having postponed, it actually helps me a bit more because I can do more races. It gives me a year to do more track races and then go into the Olympics. So in a way, I think it works out well for me. But hopefully when it gets going, we can have some races and, we could start working towards something, because as an athlete, you always want to have something to work towards. If it's Olympics, if it's a World Championship, if it's any event. I think we have to stay positive for all of us. And as long as we can stay positive and have something to aim for, it should be hopefully it gets easier.
All All right, from there, we switch our attentions to the International Olympic Committee, where they're set to set aside $800 million to help with the severe financial impact caused by the postponement of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Organizers will get $650 million after the summer's games were postponed by a year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And to Formula One we go. Sainz to Ferrari was the headline news yesterday and certainly wasn't a pairing you could have predicted at the start of a whirlwind week in Formula One. The Spaniard, 25, has big shoes to fill with four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel on his way out. But Brundle, expert in Formula One, is backing him to succeed. Ferrari made the right move by signing Carlos Sainz. Is the young man also spot on making that big leap decision? Let's hear from Formula One expert Martin Brundle.
Well, I think it's a no-brainer for Carlos Sainz to want to go to Ferrari at this stage of his career. He's got quite a lot of experience despite his tender years. I think it's a really good match with Charles Leclerc. For me, Sainz is the teammate who pushed Max Verstappen hardest so far in Formula One. And even if it takes 2 or 3 years, he can afford that. Sebastian Vettel couldn't afford that time. He'd lost his mojo a bit with the team, a little bit of belief, and vice versa, I think, and that's why they parted company. So it's a very dynamic young duo. It is something to build on for the future. Ferrari showed race-winning pace last year, sort of championship challenging pace. Turns out they were being just a touch too clever on the fuel management. So if I was in Carlos Sainz's position, I wouldn't have hesitated to take this opportunity. You have to go for it with a team like Ferrari knocking on your door.
Tyson Fury says he'd rather give Deontay Wilder another beating than pay him to step aside for an undisputed clash with Anthony Joshua. Well, a blockbuster undisputed bout between WBC holder Fury and WBA Super IBF and WBA World Champion Joshua has been mooted following the Gypsy King's stunning victory over Wilder in February. But Wilder would need to step aside for the heavyweight mega fight to happen. And the American reportedly laid out his demands to step aside, which includes a massive $10 million and a guarantee that he will face the winner of Fury vs. Joshua. However, Fury is reluctant to pay Wilder to temporarily leave the heavyweight picture. He also talked up a meeting with Joshua in 2021, which is music to the ears of boxing fans around the world.
Some newspaper reported that he wanted 10 million to step outside. I'm not paying him no money to step aside. I'd rather take his scalp again. I'll beat him in the ring, and that's how I'll get him out the way. I wouldn't pay him 2 million to step aside. I'd rather give him another battering again. I'm going to take him out again for the third time, hopefully end of the year. And then we're going to go into 2021 for the biggest fight in boxing history. Me and AJ, and we're going to battle out for all the gold. There used to be a three-headed monster in this division. It was me, Wilder and Joshua. And then Ruiz knocked out Joshua, burst that bubble, broke him in. And then I broke in the Bronze Bomber. And then 3 became 2, 2 became 1. And now I'm a standalone soldier.
A standalone soldier, Tyson calls himself. But Anthony Joshua would sign now to secure a Tyson Fury showdown, and there could even be a 2-fight deal for 2021, says Eddie Hearn. Joshua and Fury hold every major world heavyweight title, and the British pair are primed to hold talks of a fight to crown an undisputed champion. It would probably be a 2-fight deal. Hen said, any deal between Fury and AJ, you run it twice. It's not a condition of the deal, but it wasn't their deal with Deontay Wilder, and it is the biggest fight in boxing, so it is likely you will see that twice. Joshua must first defend his IBF, WBO, and WBO titles against Kubrat Pulev, while Wilder is entitled to a third WBC championship fight with Fury. In the meantime, world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has been ranked the second richest sports person in the United Kingdom. In the ranking done by the Sunday Times, Gareth Bale was rated the richest young sports star. However, Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton was ranked the richest sports person in the United Kingdom with a net worth of £224 million. Apart from Joshua, others on the young sports stars rich list are footballers who are aged 30 or below. Among them are Bale, Paul Pogba, Kevin De Bruyne, David De Gea, Raheem Sterling, and N'Golo Kante. Joshua reportedly earned an estimated £78 million from his 2 fights with Andy Ruiz Jr. last year, taking his net worth to $107 million. That's all on other sports. Join me now as we take a morning cruise to the ever-exciting world of football. All right, we start off with a goalkeeper, the AC Omonia goalkeeper Francis Uzoho, who has been trolled for looking older than his age, has continued to fire back at those who are doubting his age. and his ability as a goalkeeper. The former HA goalkeeper made his international debut under Gernot Rohr in November 2017. Uzoho was 19 as at that time. He made the Super Eagles debut, which was in an international friendly clash against Argentina in Russia. But the former under-17 star was taunted by people for lying about his age, while his performances in the Super Eagles jersey have also been questioned.
When people don't know you, they try to look for some things to say. Yes, I would have to give it to them. I have to admit it. But you can't blame me for that, because this is some things that's out of my capabilities, you understand? And I have to tell you, I worked towards this whole physique you guys are seeing now, because if you check my picture, the 17 in 2013, you won't believe the development,
Oh, wow.
So I had to work, I had to develop myself, because being slim and lanky, I can't be in the post, and so that was what I did. But I don't really blame anybody that is doubting my age or anything. I have to learn how to cope with it.
Well, right, he was. Uzoho was not the number one goalkeeper when the Golden Eaglets won the World Cup back then, and many have continued to wonder how he managed to secure a move to the Spanish La Liga. Uzoho explained that he secured the move after a beautiful performance for his academy Aspire when they featured in a youth tournament in Spain.
I was in an academy before I came to Aspire Academy. That was where I came to Europe. We normally play tournaments in Spain. There's a tournament we play in Spain. It's called MIC, Mediterranean International Cup. That was in 2015 or 2016 when we came. We played the game against Barcelona, and I think, according to what my agent told me then, that Deportivo La Coruña, their scouts was present, and they saw me and they picked interest in me, and that was how I signed for them.
Moving forward to another former under-17 star, Taiwo Awoniyi. He has reiterated that he remains a Liverpool player despite playing across different leagues since joining the European champions. 22-year-old who currently plays for German outfit Mainz 05 has enjoyed stints with Frankfurt, Royal Motzkron twice, and K. Gent. But despite transfer speculations linking the former Dream Team player to a permanent move elsewhere, Taiwo still believes he's a Liverpool player.
I've been to different places. I've been on loan, and I've been playing my game though it has not been quite easy being on loan and everything. But for me, I'm still a player of Liverpool. Till the day maybe I said I don't have contract with them anymore, then I can say, okay, I'm no more a player of Liverpool. But for now, I'm just focusing on Mainz to see what will happen regarding the season, and to go back to Liverpool to sit down again and know the situation around my playing and everything. Honestly, it's still there forever. Even if I leave Liverpool today, this team will ever be there, because that was why I chose Liverpool at the beginning.
All right, former Nigerian international Finidi George has been included in La Liga's African all-time 11 list. The African La Liga all-time best list, which is a 5-minute video of the selected players, past and present, was compiled by Super Sports and published on their verified Twitter handle. Finidi's inclusion in the list is due to his impressive performance for Real Betis, whom he joined from Dutch giants Ajax in 1996. During his time at Betis, Finidi netted in double digits in nearly every season, with the Andalusian club finishing fourth in his first year. Others in the list include Yaya Toure, Eto'o, Samuel Eto'o Fields, Jackie Songo, and Mali's Seydou Keita. And to Europe we go proper this morning, where Bundesliga, it will be returning. Now, Bundesliga clubs will be able to use 5 substitutes when it returns from suspension enforced due to the coronavirus pandemic on Saturday. The German Football League, DFL, announced yesterday. The new rule was approved by the International Football Association Board, IFAB, to help protect player welfare, with fixtures set to come thick and fast as the sport continues its schedule in a restricted time frame. The Bundesliga will become the first major European league to return to action when it resumes behind closed doors tomorrow after a 2-month stoppage. German second tier will also be back this weekend. There are 9 full rounds of fixtures remaining in the Bundesliga, with Bayern Munich sitting 4 points clear of Borussia Dortmund at the summit. Well, let me just quickly run through the fixtures to expect tomorrow. Augsburg will be up against Wolfsburg, and in the Riviera Derby, it will be the black and yellow Borussia Dortmund taking on the Der Königsblond. That's the royal blue guys, talking about Schalke 04. Fortuna Düsseldorf will be up against Paderborn. Hoffenheim will take on Hertha Berlin. RB Leipzig will take on Freiburg, while Eintracht Frankfurt will be up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Well, I even feel like reading the German second division fixtures, but then again, it promises to be an exciting return. Meanwhile, Schalke coach David Wagner thinks it is a huge advantage to recommence their Bundesliga campaign following the coronavirus suspension with the Riviera Derby against Borussia Dortmund. The Bundesliga will resume tomorrow after a hiatus of more than 2 months. Do you not attend? The former Huddersfield Town boss is confident getting the season kick-started with such a high-profile fixture can only be a good thing. All right, to England we go this morning, where the Football Association will face FIFA in court next month to challenge a ruling relating to Chelsea's transfer ban. Chelsea were punished in February 2019 for breaches of the rules pertaining to the international transfer and registration of players under the age of 18. Initially barred from making any signings for 2 transfer windows, while also hit with a fine, the Premier League club had their punishment reduced on appeal. The FA, meanwhile, was fined 510,000 Swiss francs as it processes player registrations. However, an appeal saw the amount lowered to 350,000 Swiss francs by a FIFA committee. And Premier League clubs have agreed to allow short-term contract extensions until the end of the season for players whose deals are set to finish on January 30th, 2020. The suspension of football in England due to the coronavirus pandemic, with play unable to resume before June 1st, issues were set to round of the season. Still in the EPL, the Premier League appears to be on course for a June return after positive talks between the government and English football keys governing bodies. Culture Secretary Olivia Dowden revealed English top flight convened at the start of bid behind closed doors due to the coronavirus pandemic. And after the latest talks between the major stakeholders, that hope remains firm. And Jose Mourinho claimed Tottenham head coach Mourinho called for players to have just on Wednesday. However, the former Chelsea and Manchester United manager has hit back spirit for the Premier League to return as soon as it is safe to do so. Particularly now, we are seeing other leagues preparing to return to action. Mark Noble and Troy Deeney led calls for guarantees over player safety during Wednesday's Crunch Project restart meeting. Well, media reports have revealed the 2 skippers of West Ham and Watford, respectively, were the most forthright players on Wednesday's conference call and have voiced concerns with Premier League chiefs over safety measures. Warned there were major hurdles still, but if protocols were followed, training grounds would be as safe as anywhere. Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Dele Alli, well, he's actually safe and okay after being robbed at knife point by burglars who broke into his North London home in the early hours of Wednesday morning. 5 people, including Ali, were reported to be in the house at the time of the robbery, with the England star's brother, their girlfriends, and another friend also present. Was one of those attacked. Reacting to the robbery attack, Ali wrote on Twitter on Wednesday evening, "Thank you all for the messages. Horrible experience, but we are all okay now. Appreciate the support." Now, Carlos Tevez's agent, Kia Jorabkian, has responded to claims by Gary Neville that the striker down tools during his final days at Manchester United. Tevez spent 2 years at Old Trafford following his loan arrival from West Ham in 2007, but angered fans by leaving for bitter rivals Manchester City, where he would add a 3rd Premier League title to the 2 he won at United. Having hailed Tevez's partnership with Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo as out of this world and breathtaking, during the striker's time with the club, Neville went on to tell the Football Show that he was disappointed at the manner of Tevez's departure. Let's take a listen to Gary Neville.
The only problem I had with Tevez, to be fair, I mean, let's be clear here, Tevez for a year with Ronaldo and Rooney was just breathtaking. It was out of this world, it really was. But what annoyed me about Tevez was he downed tools in his second season, started sitting on the treatment bed, started coming out late for training, started messing around. He was playing the club. Disappointed that as a professional that he didn't act the right way. I never had a problem with players leaving the club if they were sort of David Beckham left the club, or Cristiano Ronaldo left the club, Ruud van Nistelrooy left the club. Great players, but there was a way to leave the club and there was a way to behave when you were there. So the problem I have with Tevez wasn't that he went to play for Manchester City, which in itself is a problem for me, but that wasn't the main issue. It was the way in which I think it just played out in that last few months. I didn't like it.
But Tevez's agent, Jorab Kian, has insisted that Tevez was fully committed to Manchester United and highlighted the Argentine's record for the club in the 2008-2009 season.
Gary Neville spoke about professionalism, he spoke about treatment table, and he spoke about people being in his ear. What he didn't understand is, and that's where a reporter should have had the correct information, no matter who was in his ear, no matter who was speaking to him, if Man United had wanted to exercise an option, all they had to do was sign the paper and send it to the Premier League. He wanted to stay at Old Trafford right after the Moscow winning the Champions League. Him and Rooney and Ronaldo had a great combination going forward. They were very happy, but Man United didn't exercise the option. It was as simple as that. And Gary Neville is speaking about people being in his ear as if Tevez decided at that point to leave during that year. But it was Man United who didn't exercise the option during that year. Tevez only decided after his option has expired that, I've been sitting here for 9 months and no one has exercised my option.
When asked if there was anything wrong with Tevez's attitude during his last year, Jorab Kian had this to say.
Absolutely not. He was desperate to play. He scored 15 goals, I think, 7 assists. His record was superb. Every time he was available for every game, bar 3 that he had an injury for. I think the person's professionalism to be questioned is Gary Neville, because he didn't do his homework on Carlos's career, neither as a reporter to say why Tevez wasn't. He never made any phone calls. He never asked a question of me or anyone to know what had happened.
In the La Liga, officials are exploring ways to make up for the absence of fans when football returns, and one such idea is to show tweets from fans in the stadium during the game. League President Javier Tebas recently admitted that they were planning some interesting and groundbreaking alternatives to fans for when football returns on 12 June, but there was no mention of what those ideas were. However, in a video conference call with the Iberian American Institute of Sporting Law, Tebas went into more detail on how they would compensate for the lack of fans with tweets and innovative camera angles, both in their plans. Quoting him, he said, "Sometimes we've watched games behind closed doors where there is an echo or the horrible sight of empty stands." Tebas said, "We are working on modern, imaginative ways of avoiding this. There will be an interesting question of virtual advertising and having a stand with messages from Twitter that are shown during the game." Tebas also revealed that they are working closely with EA Sports, creators of the FIFA video game franchise, to find new and improved camera angles to keep fans entertained while watching the match from home. And quickly before we leave the studio, well, the transfer tidbits have all been about this man, Jack Grealish. Let's take a listen to his teammate, Harry Kane, on the big advice to the big clubs, saying that Jack Grealish is a big player.
Jack's obviously hugely talented and our talisman, and he's had a fantastic season. He's been linked with so many clubs. Top of the leagues and top of every league around Europe. So, listen, it's going to be a tough summer for Jack and tough decision. Hopefully, first and foremost, he keeps us up, and as a team we stay up, and that's the most important thing for the football club. And then whatever Jack decides to do, that's up to himself. He deserves everything he gets. For me, he should be, in that England squad as well, because he's got that something different that nobody else has, in my opinion.
Well, Manchester United have been scouting Schalke's Welsh winger Rabbi Matondo and could make a move for the 19-year-old if they fail to sign Borussia Dortmund and England forward Jadon Sancho. And midfielder of Man City, David Silva, is in contract talks because his contract is due to end on the 30th of June, but the Spaniard, 34, is willing to extend it until the end of the campaign, his last with the club. Well, he's not going to extend that one, just the timing. Chelsea target Dries Mertens is looking to stay in Serie A if his Napoli contract runs out with Inter Milan, also interested in the 33-year-old Belgian forward. That's according to the Mail. And Metro has this morning Bayern Munich and Poland striker Robert Lewandowski has advised 19-year-old Norwegian forward Erling Braut Haaland, who has been linked with Manchester United and Real Madrid, to continue his development at Borussia Dortmund. And on that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of Sports Attack. The Sports Crew will be back after the news update at 3 p.m. for an exciting special edition of Today's Sports Life. It will be the Today's Sports Life that will herald the return of the German Bundesliga, and you don't want to miss that one. 3 p.m. is the time, and of course, thank you so much for listening, and keep it locked on this dial Today FM 95.1. Remember, social distancing, regular hand washing, and other precautions are not simple, but no price is too high to pay for your life. My name is Wisdom Obina. Stay tuned to this dial.
Never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
The Obonge Company for property business. Odibola
Low Income Earners Promo 2020. You don't come. My good people of River State, you don't hear the latest for town. Now Odibola Low Income Earners Promo. You no need to worry yourself again on how to get land with the small money within your hand. With just one tiny 550,000 naira, you go fit get one plot of land will be 465 square meters for the Odibola Freedom Playout. Where the inside Igrutali, Ipo School Road. With the same 550,000 naira, you go still get your deed of conveyance and survey plan and all documentation within 1 week, and you no go pay any extra money for bush entry or agency fee or any other hidden charges. Rush now and pick our free interest form and join the next inspection. Call Swoyo on 081-3607-9236. Call Promise on 070-300-40173 or visit our office at Odibola House, Iyenweli Niserim Layout, Tumbia Extension, GRA Port Harcourt, or go to our website www.odibolaproperties.com. Powered by Real People's Foundation. For inside Odibola, you go do business with us and you go sleep well.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place,
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Ways to get there.
Port Harcourt.
If you care enough.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Bossa, bossa, bossa.
Eventually, we enter democracy and patience more to destroy very easily, but to build the wahala new African suru to lojo suru lere o e ma je fire for so therefore military, oh democracy, oh politician, Surulere,
oh legislator. Okay.
Oh God, Unlock Friday. I will say lockdown Friday. So Unlock Friday. You know, now it will be like phone. Anytime we like, we lock. Anytime we like, we unlock.
Enter sleep mode.
We unlock. Hey, Port Harcourt people, Funky 4 don't show. I know say most of them missed me last week. People just they call. I don't know say when I love me this much. Port Harcourt people, thank you for your love. Thank you for the show of love. Now, I don't know say when I love me this much. People just they call. Boy, we didn't hear your voice. Yeah, that's one of those things, family things. You get to attend to family sometimes. You know, I did here with now 52 times. You know, every year. That is every Friday I did here 52 times in a year. So once in a while, myself I go on leave and I get right to lock down. Anytime I feel like locking down, you cannot come and tell me when to lock down and not to lock down. This is me. The only thing is that they should lock me down in the proper way. You know, if they lock me now, maybe with Annie, nobody will even come for unlocking. Only me and you go lock ourselves.
You go die.
We go lock me and go lock you. We go lock ourselves. The government go beg us to unlock. We no go agree unlock. For what? You get power. Me and you lock for one room now. You go get power. Wait till you get power. You did so you get power. No, just try. If me and you lock for one room, I'm going to beg government, please don't unlock us. We are here to
We
lock.
want to remain in the lockdown. I'm sorry for you. Don't pray for bad thing.
No, leave it. For me and you, I pray for it.
No.
For me and you alone, I pray for it. For why would I?
Don't pray for bad thing.
I pray for it. Port Harcourt people, good morning.
How are we?
Now, call address. I can see people moving up and down, you know. Yeah.
They should not move.
Yeah, they are moving up and down. Just know say your movement gets expiry date. Now best before Sunday night. Best before Sunday night. So every waka you want. See, if you don't have anywhere to go, just come outside and just walk around because from Sunday night, no movement again. So just try and exercise your body now and walk around. You have today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Waka that you waka in the next, because the next one that is coming, I'm seeing 1 month. PDP have finished.
You don't go be leader in alive.
They have finished everything. I say 1 month. And they tell you now, when they shall say bread no day. And they look now this time. Oh God. Anyway. The only thing we say, I want to greet our governor, our dear governor. Hey, POS Africa.
If I hear POS, this is no money. So I once asked, I said, why they call them POS? I can't remember saying that sports something that big personal.
Pillar of sports. Pillar of. I want to say pillar of salt.
I don't say pillar of soccer.
Pillar of sports. In Africa, a whole African pillar of salt.
A whole pillar.
Yes, a whole pillar. We hold the whole Africa. Now in ordinary Nigeria, one can't shake him. He's unshakable. Or every shakeable must be shakeable. You cannot shake him. So our dear governor, I love you. I love you. You are doing everything for Rivers people. You are doing everything to protect the citizens of
his
this
people.
State. Yes, your people. You are wonderful. I like it. Leave all the things where people they talk. You know, people can gossip. People gossip, unnecessary gossiping. People can carry matter where no even make sense. Imagine, Your Excellency, with the good way they do. They say, why? Say governor no lock. You know, say in lock border on a Monday. In lock border on a Monday. Then the weekend will precede that Monday. PDP been do Congress. They been do Congress and what do they call that? Congress and election or something like that. They been do convention. So me I see people go back that Saturday, then Sunday people go back, then Monday back in lock border.
You will land there.
You will land there. Say people say now because say make the fit do the convention finish, make people go back. Now you know make can do an LT in wait till Monday before you can do am. Say oh okay. Now they say that Wednesday in lock do total lockdown for Obiako and Faga on Thursday. Why you no start from Wednesday? Because that Wednesday now they do inauguration of the world youth what they call themselves leaders for the words them. He leave that till Wednesday, make them finish, then Thursday back and put padlock, lock everywhere. Now they mad. Then Inauguration for the chairman. They come this Wednesday. We passed 2 days ago. Now you say, okay, if we put on that Wednesday, they go suspect us. Make we add
Tuesday. Make it be like that free flowing something.
Now add Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday now to prepare. In case people want cook soup, we want
go begin calculate.
Exactly. People want serve food for them, they quickly go market. Then Thursday, they swear in the new PDP chairman. He's supposed lock Thursday.
Now Wednesday, now Wednesday they swear in now.
And now they talk now. So he's supposed lock again on Thursday. And they go whisper for him and say, Oga,
we know the Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving na Sunday for church now.
And na morning now, you know the dinner, gala night.
Gala night,
na Saturday. Then Sunday Thanksgiving. Then from the night
of that Sunday,
we put you.
But already, don't forget, say presidential lockdown day already.
Now they tell you, but we know the observer.
We the observer,
everybody don't look at us say.
We the observer.
States get power fast.
That lie, we the observer.
Because that 8 o'clock when people supposed lock down. If you see hold up for NTA road.
Now people they rush go, may hold on, no lock, may lockdown, no catch them.
Where you date 8 o'clock reach you? Where you can't come out by this?
But now they buy food. Now food will never buy 10 years ago. We won't buy them now. People they price things so they never chop.
My dear. I don't know if you concern you. I go buy pancake. We never shop pancakes since. Anything where if you just buy. Just buy.
I see some people they price the egg, those big green ones. There's one thing that they use this one. I look the person.
My wife come house with.
So you know what they use
watermelon. Where you say a whole local government go share.
Go finish them.
That's the way you go carry this water. Oh God.
People buy unnecessary buying.
Things where they don't need
only to come and hear say they don't postpone this thing.
No, we come to that one. I only the first talk the rumor.
They touch them.
Rumor where people they rumor. So Your Excellency, they rumor all these things. Say they do them just because of party thing. No mind them.
PDP.
No mind them. Look, you are the governor of this state. You are the governor and the #1 citizen, and everything where they do in the interest of Rivers people.
So the PDP is in the interest of Rivers people.
It concern you.
Why not?
Is the state your own? Is the state your own?
Am I not? Am I not the state?
We know that.
What is the state without the people inside?
Governor, we believe in you. Now we give you power to rule us, to lead us. So we don't say you no go lead us, go enter Antawoba River. You go lead us well. That is why even when they sing the song, we can come. We know say yes.
He's coming.
And now you have come.
He has arrived.
You have come. You come well. We the people of River State, we are happy with you, with your decision. Just they take it, they go, and we not comply. We not comply. All those people wait to say they get smoke for their head. They don't go to Konatai Center for stadium. I say stay in your house. You come out. Okay. Go and put them in quarantine center. Have we not been
take it to quarantine?
Yes. So
that quarantine they sound like in a concentration camp.
Now your motto, they will sell at 40,000.
Please, I never know when they want auction this auction. May I go stand near the place?
Now the thing, we get to work with Nnamdi Omonio and what will be that commissioner for information? Tammy, sorry.
Tamina Gogo. No, Tamina before now.
What will be new one now? They try to.
Even Paulino Sinserim.
Paulino Sinserim. I beg. I don't want moto because I don't want to buy moto where we say, now Dio boy get them. Bobby. You know one danger with that thing, people know they think about you go buy auction motor. Except say if the police, even police they go wait you. I'm blocking for you. Get where you go drive and they don't back you, Bobby. Just show, just down from that motor. Everything where you carry, just down. Easy to go buy auction motor. I just want now. All of now where they brace up. May they tell us when they want sell motor. May they tell us when they want auction motor. Go buy now. Go buy. Now that time you go no say waiting there's big difference between 6 and half a dozen. Your eye go clear there. So Your Excellency, as I was saying, please, no mind waiting people they talk. All that rumors, we know you know whole water. In fact, they say rumors and gossip are pernicious to the society. So just turn your ear, no mind them. Anything way you like, just do. Throw on your party, like their party. Is it their party? Are they the leaders of the party? No mind them. Mind them, Jerry. Anything we want to do, we do. As long as it is for the interest of the state. That's why I love my friend, Samuel Wanosike, the chairman of Ikure local government. My guy, he just show for one bank like that. That video, that Jack Bauer movement. He just show. Sanosike, you don't see the video. He just show like Jack Bauer. You want to kill my people? You want to kill our people. You want to kill
my people. You want to kill my people.
You want to kill my people. You do ja. You want to kill my people.
I'll bring down this.
Wait, I want to ask.
Leave her if you know the work. Easier here.
I want to ask. Somewhere we want to go the inauguration or
I ain't no go. Not the PD.
We no go.
No PD.
If you go, no say. You go to shout for them. Say you want to kill ourselves. We want to kill ourselves. Why we want to kill ourselves? Why are we not standing? Why are we standing together to take picture? We want to kill ourselves.
This is the problem I have with.
Yeah, I've opened. It's okay.
Sure.
Your microphone is open.
I'm not sure saying there. Because I know here he shout for that one.
If
for shout, why people standing together?
You not seeing picture.
Why people not distancing yourself?
You not seeing picture for back.
In there.
Why you not go there now?
Come, Chiamo. Why you not shout for that side now?
He's PDP is him.
Oh.
How will he not be there?
They say the law will carry masquerade. Now the same one will carry person will cover hijab.
Now different ones are there. Bigo. They say they worry now and they different.
The law will carry masquerade. Now carry person will wear no mask.
They are different.
They are the same thing though.
They are different disease because.
Okay, what is the difference between a ninja and a masquerade?
A ninja
and a masquerade.
And a masquerade. Ninja know they listen to drum.
Masquerade function according to
masquerade. No fee use the ear. Yes, in that drum in that.
You see that video? That masquerade will say, "I want to thank His Excellency on behalf of the Masquerade Association of Nigeria."
Jesus, we don't die.
Oh, you don't see him?
No.
Hey, I will find the video. He go thank governor to say for unlocking the lock. Say we the Masquerade Association of Nigeria. Now that I know say
masquerade.
Heavenly bodies get Association of Nigeria.
Masquerade don't push up here.
Masquerade Association of Nigeria.
They don't leave. They don't leave their spiritual abode.
I'm telling you. So corporate affairs get mine to register heavenly bodies. Hey, corporate affairs. They say as it is in heaven,
so shall it be.
Yeah, now just catastrophes here. Heavenly bodies.
So shall it be here.
Jesus Christ, I have died. Anyway, Your Excellency, on Wednesday. I don't know if you tell you what happened Tuesday and Wednesday. I have never seen
crowd.
What they call giri. You know what they call giri?
No, but look at your face. I can imagine what it be.
Giri is a pronoun.
It's a giri.
Giri is the pronoun of Russian. Is the giri is the the metaphor.
Yeah, good.
No, sorry. The solitude. The satire.
No, bite your tongue. Okay. Just call them normal one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giri is.
This giri. Finish.
Man, no kill myself.
No kill yourself.
I'm not in my safe period. I'm not in my safe period to analyze.
Giri is giri. Oto.
The giri that happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. Your Excellency, let me inform you that people buy things where they don't need.
They don't need.
People, in fact, we don't anything where we see, we don't buy. First of all, Your Excellency, I know say most of these decisions not be only you they take them because you have a cabinet according to that when I talk executive order. So an executive plenty. According to executive order, say you they decide things. You understand? When I go come together after the executive don't come together now I decide them. But I know say all the executive them no go just sleep, put head for one side. Because if true, we want open things for 2 days, make people go restock. Your Excellency, I think say what there for open at the proper market. The proper market now for open for those 2 days.
Why?
Okay. Now the proper market. Now there you go see things buy. Where we say house needs them. I know sure say I don't know how many supermarkets they sell goat meat.
Supermarket, you get some.
I say I don't know how many.
Okay, but you go.
You get yes, I know the ones.
So why? If you don't see goat meat, you know see chicken meat. You know see chicken meat, you know see another meat to buy. Okay. Must it be goat meat?
Okay, now tell me.
How is it to you?
Wait first now. Which supermarket they sell Ngolo and Ofingo and Oporo?
I know.
Oh, tell me now which one?
I know Oporoko.
Oporoko.
Which one? What's Oporo?
Oh, see now. Oporo is the sardine the sardine nature of the real Oporoko.
Okay. Ide. The fresh one, right? Oporoko, the fresh one.
No, I say the sardine nature is preserved. It's Oporo La Pro.
Hold on.
Yes.
Is it not the kind of fish that they turn into stockfish, right?
No, that is Oporoko. That's from Igbo people.
That's what I'm saying.
Oporo is rivers.
That's what I'm saying. That means the fresh one, right?
No. Fresh one is stockfish. And that fresh one is stock. This one is Oporo. Oporo is small.
Okay.
Yeah. There's Oporo, there's Offingo, there's that one.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't see that one chop, during the time of war, you know, see people chop lizard.
Hey! May we know it like that.
That is what I'm saying. During the time of war, people they will go chop lizard. People where they na rats they set trap for. House rats, those small thing noise. They if cats they fight for them, they must say they dive the thing.
I see the place where they take rivers people.
No, I'm just saying.
I disassociate myself
from even the conversation.
Only lizard minds.
I'm just saying. You are trying to look at it like say choice day. There's a choose.
Yes, there's.
Buy one thing you see and go to your house and eat. If na beans one bag, if you hip and go. Every morning there, do akara in the morning, do my for night, do porridge for
no be something where you see. They sell white beans. They sell white beans for supermarket.
Yes.
White beans.
Very well. They sell them well.
See white beans too.
Well, maybe they rush them before you come.
You see them now. Now there they go. The last 2 weeks before the lockdown on Thursday, upper one. That's so we rush you. Everything we did the supermarket now we buy finish you.
Supermarket empty.
Yes. Now the supermarket, because of lockdown, they don't get chance and opportunity to restock. They can't unlock them. So what you want can go buy there.
Some of them get warehouses.
Hello.
Hold up.
The cloth where you wear.
Hold up. I don't know the supermarket you went to. That's what I'm saying. Some of them.
I like your some of
them.
Some
of them get warehouses. Okay. So as soon as shop finish that day, bam, on that Thursday night, they must say they no go restock because they know say nobody go come Friday. So as they say, oh, they don't leave this thing on Wednesday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, make people come out. They go their warehouse.
So now that Tuesday, now they go bring.
That Tuesday, yes. As for plenty supermarkets where I did, people were actually.
Oh, you go somewhere?
Yes, I went around to observe.
Oh, observe.
I know buy. No person home money go buy something.
You go buy now.
Well, as I say, I saw some of them at the back. They had their vans offloading stuff. Even if you enter the aisles of the different things where you did, they pick something. You go see say their
motor.
The attendants,
okay,
they restock.
They go arrange. Okay. Now for those people that will get warehouse, so now then they go bring come. People will no get warehouse.
They sell the remaining popcorn when they for dump the counter.
And I buy bread 800 naira. Bread of
why?
Bread where the ordinary na 450, 500. I buy 800.
But why are people like
now
that?
Now we can't begin think come.
Why are people like that? Now what is the point?
The people say. The girl say she don't come there before 5 a.m. in the morning.
So is that why she won't?
And before she enter, she settle. And before they give her bread, before he reach her turn, she settle. So now we, the primary and end consumer,
now go pay all.
Even that bread where they call jumbo size.
If you wanna eat, pay. If you don't wanna eat, leave.
That bread
be this one.
See, I just every money what I spend will be extra. I dey write them down. Your Excellency, I tell you, I put hand for ground, touch my tongue, raise hand to heaven. You go find me something. You go return every extra money what I spend. First of all, now bread what I buy now 500 naira. How much they on top? 300. That's 600 naira. They hold me for bread side. 600 naira for bread side. Plus on top yam will be 500, 600. About 1,000 too. So plus 600 or 700. Just they calculate. Your Excellency, you go pay me. I don't want to know about other people. I they talk to you as a personal, no be non grata.
Non grata.
No, personal grata. Remove the no. Personal grata. I they talk to you. I know where government house dey. I go find you and you go sort me because this is not something that is done out of my own volition. Now condition of the bending of crayfish now make me go buy things like that. After all, I know die. I get to survive. Look at Annie now. Your Excellency, can you just let me take a picture and send to you to your WhatsApp? Just look at Annie now. Annie that used to be fresh, where they like ugu where they just pluck for early morning. Come and see Annie now.
I be like,
how long?
I be like ugu where they don't cut 3 days. Give
I tell you, be like. Poverty alleviation.
Come the weekend, no mind them. If not by me,
anyway, I neck full.
If not
full
by
before.
If not by me, Leave him. I know even want full that fat neck again. So if not by me,
for what?
No even change this situation. Make the thing continue like this. Make I lose all the weight.
Sorry, Your Excellency, no be any at one call. No be any name at one call. Don't spoil bracket for me. Your Excellency. For some of us, no see palliative. Any way they share them, you know, reach some of us. You have to use your good mind. See, this coming lockdown, you have enough time to plan for it, Your Excellency. This will not be emergency. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 days, Your Excellency, to plan for it. I beg as they lock us down, Your Excellency. Try now. Make we see the essence and the importance of that lockdown. Make no job because say now to just stay house. Now it be lockdown. No. And you fit bring out that your task force on food sharing. All the food where they say farmers they bring. Una buy from farmers. Your Excellency, qu'est-ce que c'est? Commissioner for Agri say farmers don't bring food. They don't buy plenty food. They don't buy. Where
they dey now? I know say it be like say as they just share once. That's it. I don't know how long they say the food could last. Even the ones where they share. As they share, how long is it supposed to be used? Now throughout the period of the pandemic, now we're gonna chop that.
I don't understand. The one where farmers bring, you know, follow for palliative. But I'm not sure say noodles and rice follow for waiting farmer them bring. We
no be ugu and other things.
Where farmer they bring. The fish they way they talk say your honorable commissioner sir. All those food them where farmer bring, we wanna say una buy from farmers. Where are they? Because as market no open, but I people forget a center. We say government market for those 2 days. Those things the way you buy from farmers. Government market you open, people go there. You feel decentralized and put out for like 5 or 6 places around the metropolis. Put one inside Aziboro Park. Put one for maybe that school waiting for Abuloma. Carry one, go that LLM one side. Bring one, come this Obiapo, find one school there. At least make it be say people see things by. Now everybody now they face supermarket. And those people them God help them. The way they increase things. Egg will be ordinarily 1,000, 1,2, 1,500, 2,000, 2,002. Even fowl when lady egg serve, you might go they cost it. Jesus.
Now my chicken.
Now my fowl.
I mean now my egg.
Now my egg when they sell like this.
Now my egg now what's that?
Me we go labor.
I don't sell it like that. Give you.
Me where they labor since. Lay this egg. What you wanna give me shop? See what you people are doing to me.
Kunle, today you go talk 1 hour before anybody put my.
You were inside.
No problem.
Last Friday, you refused to come.
Were you here that you making way? Okay, I should outside. I should outside. Then you go keep quiet till you come inside.
No, I say he
didn't know where to connect.
I say he will be talking. Okay. Nobody will put
to recover.
To balance last week.
I did fear.
Me and Tegranga talk that I heard mad. So I have been here since. But I avoid you. Continue talking.
This one I pay back.
I join you. Next time.
I'm not feeling well.
You have what's wrong? Is it palliative? Now palliative.
I'm in pain.
Severe.
I'm in severe pain.
No, not severe. Severe.
Severe.
No, Vino de.
David, na severe.
I'm in severe.
Na the severe. Severe.
I'm in severe pain.
Severe pain. And he hang neck and hand like that.
He hang. The next day, the leg go.
Now I know this next day. When I say they go pray for him, he remove the thing now. Not be
raise hand.
In front of pastor, raise hand. Oh God,
Kule, you have said a number of things. I don't want to join issues with you. I agree with you.
No, join issues with me.
No, I agree.
Join issues with me.
Hey, good. I never spoke to a big person. Join issues with me. I bet please join.
We are in this together.
See, we have a problem.
Except you have a place where they see your own food, especially food. Or get personal market.
Which food? The one who gets this with the chop and small. I've been chop 2 meat before.
I chop one half.
I want my wife to come.
You split the one serve into half.
But I say you know.
Let me.
Yeah, my wife. I use my teeth cut meat for how. Only 1 meat now. If you try me. Yes, so.
And I want my wife to come. This corona. Now since last year start for China. Now this year end. Which means it took over 6 months. No, this the next about 6 months.
Don't say 6 months now.
Not be made with this one.
Made now.
It took about 6 months for China to open border. This one will just start ending of March now will start.
Oh.
So ending of March, ending of April, ending of May, ending of June, ending of July, ending of August. That's September.
Hey.
Now we are the project say you go get focus. Apart from now, say Madagascar has come to help us. And a native medicine.
Nagbo, nothing happens.
And they list instrument. I mean, ingredients. They list the ingredients so they take to.
They never listen a lie. All that way they see fake. They never list. They never.
But the instrument will come out. I mean, the ingredients will come out.
They never tell anybody what they inside. They just talk about the original plants that they get where they are abundant.
Acacia wood.
But they don't mention. They don't talk all the other things we follow.
And if now is this business,
is now.
If they make that mistake, bring out that list.
Nobody go buy. Nobody go buy anything for them.
No, Abba don't produce.
All those Yoruba people are Baba.
Baba, you're gonna do two for 10 kobo.
Baba, you're gonna start. Mama Kotonu, Mama Lome. No, they don't start them.
2 for 10 kobo, 2 for 10 kobo. Nobody go buy from Madagascar again.
So, Madagascar, Buhari. They made a test or whatever. They never bring the result.
They never test now.
It didn't never come.
We they get increase every day. Did the way NCDC they announce this system? Like say they what result?
The one way shock me na River State own. Governor say 16, NCDC say 10. Where the 6 go? Abi where?
No, na the former 6.
In add inside.
Add inside. Yes.
Say come.
In add inside.
NCDC. You better go get River State chapter.
We never see them
because. Every chapter they get national and state. Now the state chapter
NCDC.
The federal
chapter announced 10.
Now because the state chapter is tested ahead of the
federal chapter. Who did the test keep?
See.
Did the test keep?
There is extra 6.
I'm suspecting.
Wait. Our governor is always proactive.
Yes.
You've been hailing him this morning.
How they hail him? Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well.
There is a proactive 6 ahead. The number 6 is very important. 666 is the devilish number. Where if they put that for your head, you're dead. You know 666?
Yes, now.
So, Annie, that is the proactive 6 that is coming up.
Okay.
So our governor is always proactive.
In the Siam, the 6 that's about to enter the list.
The man also tomorrow. Now, a lot happened this week.
From last week.
Where I don't hear you talk now. They say, hey, governor, and they do special family. They say, don't tire. He want rest for 2 days. Time making, he say, Tuesday and Wednesday is free. You know, hear that one? You talk that one?
I don't hear that one.
I hear that one.
Say one rest for 2 days.
Say don't tire to work. Say easy. Man, just rest for 2 days first. So what nonsense people. Say Corona, they go public holiday.
Yes, sir.
Say Corona has been working, he's very busy.
He's tired now.
He want rest for 2 days. My brother, there are no things. If you go left, people will talk. You go right, people will talk.
You know what the governor talk? Governor say, oh, well, there's something you do that people will appreciate. Everything you do, they complain. Everything you do, they complain.
My brother. Why are we
no,
like
but
that?
No. But there's no government where go say anything where do everybody applaud them now. You must get the one we go say no. You must get the one yes. That's why it be now. You can't please everybody all the time. What's happen now?
Even Bible talk and say if you are porridge and everybody is praising you, wash your back.
Which Bible talker? Stop talking nonsense here.
Wait.
It's all right.
I don't know Proverbs or Psalms. Well, not talking to those people.
King Amakre version.
King Amakre, okay.
King Amakre version. We say when you do something, who are you now? When you are doing something and everybody applaud. Yeah, Bible talker now. Say be weary.
Be wary.
Be weary.
When everybody they hail you, now downfall, now they fall so. Now it's in the Bible.
Yeah, and they like to talk in the Bible when you know quote the Bible because so they say heaven helps those who help themselves. Say they for Bible, my brother. We read from Genesis to Revelation. We don't say anything like that.
God's time is the best.
God's time is the best. Say for Bible. Where?
God don't tell anything saying best time, I know.
You know, we like to form all those things there. So I say, the Bible says, let my enemy live long and see what I'll be.
Become in future. Where for Bible? Where for Bible? People will just say they talk into the
life. So truth to God time is the best, not the Bible.
No.
You just say don't get one corner where he does the way we
go ask God's time. No,
whether in day.
One thing where me I believe is say, Bible say no add anything and no remove anything. But see that blank space.
No, but Bible talk.
Bible say no add.
No. Input cost on top of.
Anybody will add.
Say if you add, your problems will be added onto you.
And if you
remove your life,
your goodness.
Your life will be reduced.
So they look that blank space where they between Malachi and Matthew.
Maybe now they're not there. All those things not there.
No.
And then people decide to write their own to complete out. Why blank space could they?
Which blank space?
You know, say for every Bible there's a blank space.
Get away. Malachi now the end of Hebrew scriptures. From Genesis to Malachi and Hebrew.
That he gets he hang inside the page. That's small.
From Matthew to Revelation na green.
That white space where
there must always be a blank space.
So people can write there.
No matter the Bible. No matter who do the Bible.
Fill in the blank space. Now there. God's time is the best.
Let my enemy live long and see what I will be. The blank space. By myself, right now, fill in the gap.
I can imagine I will carry person Bible, flick that, but see you don't use Biro, right?
See when we small, now there we draw.
Can you imagine?
That blank space like drawing book.
So instead of you to go serve God, there's
no child, Michael, we get Bible, we no draw something for that.
I don't draw.
There's no child. We no draw something for Bible.
And in a Muslim. And what you be, sir? They confuse you. Are you a Muslim or a Christian?
Islam.
Slam Cree.
You confuse us.
I be Slam Cree.
So,
Michael,
back to what we are saying. What were we even saying?
We are hailing the governor.
See, a lot of people carry rumor.
Rumor
is not good.
It's bad.
See, Annie, yesterday, we heard the news for night before yesterday. They don't cancel
the state.
The lockdown.
The only thing I get with governor be that too. In they work Nicodemously. In they talk.
No. When they meeting, they go do meeting.
They will do meeting now. Can't decide.
Meeting. They must do meeting morning. Okay. So when the meeting end, I don't know.
So now do market, family market movement.
They got.
Could they go find plantain for that Trumibo?
Can you imagine?
By that transformer.
Okay, that transformer side.
Now my sister say she dey live around there. She say plantain.
That is it.
No day. Say she too don't come and no say plantain. Now I can call my cousin where they live for Igrita. Ibim Mogolo.
Okay.
I can call him. Ibim Sunday. Joseph Mogolo.
Say plantain dey there.
Say they. They call me
for plantain.
Is a mad.
Jesus.
If you see market. Why am I talking?
If you see plantain, 400 naira plantain here, 4 finger. It be like small picking.
Some of us never buy.
Some never buy. Some never close the market. Now drive.
No shout.
Now drive reach there. Now time I greet with the goods as you see us.
Why they mention the market area?
No. Where we go buy and pass the greet.
Okay, good.
Yes. Now. It's your book.
No, not your book. Do you know that the boundary of Eche and Imo State, the Imo part? They say if you see market there, bunch of plantains, 700 naira. One bunch. One bunch. Now we can cut from plantain
like that.
700 for there. Now what I get petrol to reach there?
That be the problem.
700 naira. Plantain where I buy last week. Almost 3,000 naira for one tiny bunch like that.
I didn't tell you.
3,000.
Yes.
I didn't tell you now.
That ass my wife buy 2 bundles.
Oh God.
Almost one woman carry for motorcycle. She tie plenty for motorcycle. They drive from the village. They
come. Now just block her there.
She say we be tax force. She go pray. We do go pray. Say hey, no, move not. She say waiting. I say we want buy. She say oh that her mind come down.
Move not.
My brother. Now we come down. Consider the 2 biggest ones.
Sure.
118 bunch.
118.
Is that mad?
But almost 2,000. I don't hear where to buy plantain.
No, go there.
Nobody should go there.
Everybody plantain no day. If not, but one drive go that side.
That side.
Almost say plantain no day. But as press so that one full hand of
we buy 1
it's 1.5 in the book. One police comes stop one guy say, "Abe police, they stop me now. Now what? Okay, you where you they go to? They lock down. They no lock all of us. So everything police can do, we bars house can do it. My brother, your wife there they buy something so. As I said, they go buy meat, 200 naira meat. For Port Harcourt, they do that first rush. 200 naira. Where does people buy 200 naira meat so? They no go chop them after today. After today, they don't chop the meat finish. What would they eat?
The next
Lockdown was 5 days. Now 5 days we do now.
Yeah, 5 days.
From they carry wheelbarrow, they work out for the area. Anybody they
see Lagos
they press.
My brother say he warning children, you people should not go to toilet anyhow. Say you
have a way of not saying
no, people where they Lagos, it's just the same way here that we know everything where they happen for every corner. If you go Lagos to us, when this thing they enter, who know here a million boys so they rampage, they target everywhere. We was everywhere now.
They shout at.
They shout at me. I'm just saying we there.
Small demolition.
You reach Trump Yaramu.
Annie.
What is small demolition? Is that small? That was a huge demolition.
Lagos not demolitions. We according to Commissioner for Information, 5,000 people were homeless. The day report.
When?
That was government.
No. Recently.
No.
Lagos not demolition.
No, I know. I'm not sure. I know that just before this, the governor started. There's one place that was demolished. I make it enter news. But like Lagos, even if not Lagos own, even if not Lagos governor send them, but he can't do. Can't do like say no be him. They demolish. I stop.
But you know one thing.
You save them.
You see the way this one happen. The story never still clear.
It don't clear. Waiting not clear for your eye. Man, it's clear.
And the demolition.
Clear me. What is the 100,000 naira for? Clear me.
100,000 naira. Now we still blowing now.
No, 100,000 naira. Say find us 100,000 or we go report say una they operate.
Who talks that?
Oh, you devil! I said the story never clear.
No, this one where they talk now. You bring which one?
Now they say. The hotel
who are they that say?
Who say? According to the news and story.
Which news?
The rumor. Let me.
Keep a rumor.
No, wait.
Not say news.
According to the rumor, the rumor say that what even caused the fight. What bring the fight? Boss out to say task force. Fine. Now, I hear yesterday they say the task force that they shoot one, him die.
That die. We know they shoot die.
See the picture of the ones we see for hospital self is very suspicious. The one.
We no call your name. Takana say. Takana say. Security how? They won't go kill you.
Then the family should say the family go first.
Excuse me, the demolition. Raf Owazurike should take it easy. Why is it shouting anyhow for
the man is vexed.
The
man is vexed in his spirit.
He should hold his peace.
If they're born and well, make him come Omerelu. I'm waiting with that band.
Nothing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
If they're born and well, make come Omerelu.
Omerelu. No Omerelu.
Omerelu.
Take it easy with us.
He said they tried to do it for me. The governor in Imo here tried to do it to me. My boys, I say, see.
In the person who get boys and answer get boys.
See boys owner.
See men we sort our governor next time.
Boys to men.
See na small demolition.
That is a huge demolition. That is supposed to enter Guinness Book.
How many has not only two? One. Now one
side said they bring down the two sides.
No, the other side. Now go be the hostel for the school they want build. Teachers quarters.
Go the school go answer with that name.
No education. That hotel school they demolish. Now go be the nickname. That's how they take describe. Say they go build school there.
What not to discuss before
national issues.
The things of this life.
You would like to discuss things.
One thing is
things of River State, where we say even the people who talk, when they talk free, they call the ask themselves come. Let me talk this thing. No, they want to discuss. As they come, the prince were there for our radio station here. The other one were there close to us here.
Who be prince with?
The prince, you know the prince where we can look for.
Oh, is it radio?
Yes.
No, na phone.
Na phone.
Now, what is the difference?
Through phone.
Use everything.
They talk. They explain you. So I don't know what they discuss here. You say na Kamalo set them up.
Is it who set them up?
Commissioner for Finance. Say na Kamalo. I don't know where Kamalo does this so. He still be Commissioner for Finance.
I think so.
No.
Either
agriculture.
Kamalo.
Yes.
Nagri Kingo.
Yes, Nagri we can carry a move.
Whatever I'm the commissioner.
Be like some balancing of the account, no come normal.
No straight.
Never appoint commissioner. Now you are first appoint.
Mm.
So now, 11 people are used to
set them up.
So Kamalo and Fiamo. Because you know allow Kamalo win the election.
No, now in the PDP now.
Wait now.
Kamalo na PDP now.
The boy said, listen to me. Listen, look at that wait. Now we don't want to news.
Two of them the PDP. So which one be not allow Kamalo?
They wait for me now.
Oh yeah, go. Don't quick now. You talk as if we sleep. Don't quick.
That is why I talk these days. Kamalo.
You will talk when you cause trouble.
The boy be there for APC. This Prince will. You understand?
We here, move on.
You remember? You remember the election? You remember the election between Kamalo and Shai?
Okay.
You see, Shai will stop. What I want to say now,
can useless.
Hold on now. Chapter 1 verse 5.
Come get away, can useless wisdom.
Kamalo and Shai. But they contest.
He may work for Shai that time.
That is it down.
You don't think now.
That the thing where Kamalo when he worked for Shai can't win Kamalo. You remember all of us, all of them. You remember now?
You will know the story.
God bless you. Now Kamalo come carries sand for Alodo. They can touch it. Alodo come take a touching tongue. Can't go up. So, I swear.
True to God.
True to God. If I don't do it back. So since that day, all of them come join.
Shall not be over 8 years matter.
All of them come out and look for revenge. So now is the right time to revenge. So now Kamalo set them up. If nobody say anything, make governor call Kamalo, call all the chiefs for limit, call all the tax force for limit, call all the youth for limit, make him income. Make them sit down for round table.
Make him income.
Yes. Make it tell governor.
Face
this
to
way,
face.
governor no. Say Kamalo. Now I set them up like this. So the story, no be that. We'll look for Kamalo. Do you have Kamalo's number?
I used to have his number. Now my man.
No! My battery not charge. All this what you pass saying.
Idiot, and I wake up.
Nah, you wake up. You know fish Kamalu matter.
We leave Princeville and hotel. Give for Okada. Now, when story starts, instead of we to take care of the story to end, some people they add something inside the story where we no go fit that time to. We don't want carry table run this morning, but we have no choice to carry table. We don't know how no. There's a tax force don't die. It's how crazy. Who see those people
after grievous injury?
Yes. Now who see people lie down for bed for
Which
power
one?
clinic?
Them blessed way like
Then
that.
they fall for Facebook. If you look well
From the distance.
From the corner.
distance, my way them bandage
In Bele.
that one not in belly, a hand.
Maybe somebody cracked joke.
I have not seen such bandage in my life before.
Now POP.
The bandage be like
Poppling
white. You know poppling white when they say uniform of this school.
Poppling white.
China white. China white. No, today China bring things so you don't think.
From my primary school at China white.
China white.
Everybody say Kamalo na the commissioner for finance.
Now,
Paco. We be former commissioner for finance and carry go agriculture.
okay. So now 11 people just say thing.
No, Paco no Gokona.
The Gokona. Very good.
Kamalo Neleme.
Now, I never see bandage, even the original bandage. Not the white like that. That's what to call crepe bandage. You don't know?
Yes, now.
A brown
off white.
Off white. Very good.
Crepe bandage, not before the belly something. No belly.
Now for what?
No belly them put down. You don't want to carry crepe bandage before belly before.
Hand them come.
Hand na
They don't get hand.
Na
They don't put POP na bandage.
Na bandage they put.
They don't put POP.
Now they talk now.
They don't put POP for belly. That guy hand na bandage a white.
And the white they shine.
Now we know that when nurse want dress your wound, at least they go use small iodine rub hold on with scissors spirit rub ya.
Come.
They go spray such a
This is a very clean nurse.
Valerie, no carry us
It's a very
play.
clean nurse. What do you mean?
Where
Is it
did
all
she-
nurses that will be
where
dirty
she
and
get-
leave?
where
and
she
leave-
learn her nursing
Annie,
work?
Valerie just sent me text.
Where she learn her nursing
Say
work?
she donate 10K to Funky 4 for breakfast this morning.
Make she wait.
Say ma send account number. I send that if you carry us play here.
I don't know where you know this I guess.
See, now she be the first female reggae artist for Rivers.
She can't sing one song.
I don't know first. She can't sing one the song. I can't identify treasure if I can't play the song. Yeah, yo. Ayo, yeah. Ayo, yo. Ayo, yo. That is what go say. Why, yeah. Full the whole song. I said no, correct song.
You say which nurse?
Video SARS. You know, say SARS get nurse.
Those ones are the most wicked nurse.
See.
They're the
We
briefest.
get level. We get a school of nursing nurse. We get nurse, just nurse.
Nurse.
We get
Yes.
auxiliary.
Auxiliary.
If auxiliary nurse attend to you, you are dead. You die before.
Then we get our nurse be like matron.
Nah, they tell
The
you.
matron now. Then we get nurse there for SARS. Nurse to be arm robber, they catch you.
No.
That
That nurse treat people who know well.
na lie. No, don't talk nonsense.
You cannot tell me that. That nurse waiting for start. Not be nurse, na first aid.
Na nurse. You wear nurse uniform.
That's why they give first aid. Red Cross.
No, she dey carry the box.
Red Cross.
Wait, Kule. As they catch arm robber come.
Na Red Cross.
They will come say, come, keep your leg. As you keep your leg, now the middle of your leg, then they shoot. So I know if you're wrong.
Everybody, you cannot say
And
that.
come, as they shoot out, Twa!
It's first
They
aid.
shout, ayo, as they shout.
Nurse they
It's
come.
not
Nurse they come with iodine. So go add iodine. Then you go see the extra pepper. Then she will come bandage your leg.
Maggie, what you are telling us
I see the nurse are
is
mad.
not a good story.
It was us. There is a nurse there.
That woman is called a first aider. But na nurse now. Not be nurse.
What she first aid after being
She
shot?
get one box with a paint and white.
Come put on a
With
cross.
Red Cross. Na Red Cross. Could have it. In case any such person, I'm Robert Attack him for when you come. Now she dey dress the.
Why? All those boys when they catch, when they shoot their leg, I did there now.
Oh, Jesus.
They call them baptism.
You will not understand.
And if any day,
So SARS they shoot
any
people.
day they SARS. No, it's
Oh,
to
Jesus.
prevent you from running.
What happened to their chains?
Oh.
What happened to the
Wait,
handcuff
I want to
and
explain to
leg,
you.
and leg cuff and chains
You know
then?
they work.
One SARS guy, when we go
I know they
SARS,
work.
Handcuff no.
Me and
allow me,
Tekena- and I go finish your story. Me and Tekena go SARS. One of the SARS guys said they our guy. Say one day, they just the people they put for sale. That cell. Come break the ceiling for the cell. Come climb enter the ceiling. Come find their way out. You know the edge of after the window.
After ceiling, okay. The what they call that? The facial
The facial board.
Okay, facial
But for
board
the
side.
back side.
Okay.
Come break to bust her from there.
Come jump down.
As they jump down, the guy say, before the front up reach ground. I
What be the ratatata?
don't know if you don't know liver. So from
Now
there,
they sing for them.
they sing.
Nursery rhyme.
Nursery rhyme.
Ratata, ratata. Who can it be? Go ahead, Michael.
So before they land for ground. So from there, then they devise the means of say baptism.
That's
Once they-
just wrong.
Once they bring arm
They
robber
should go
come.
there and pack all of the way they shoot those.
Once they
men.
bring arm robber come, where you arm robber don't keep person collect.
So you what the SARS what's the difference?
He has
Because
right so fair hearing.
because I'm robber thief kill them, but you will be SARS. So you say you be now you be uniform
they carry
person.
me come
You
out
can't
to-
do the
they carry
work
talk your
of
story.
armed robber shooter.
Sorry.
Now so I don't they read here now. Say
Say wetin?
one army people then kidnap one guy, kill and carry him property. They don't catch them. Don't
It dey happen.
you
No.
don't
For
go
which
show
state?
them. I don't know. I don't
Nah,
see
I'm
another thing.
investing.
I know if you open the picture. The army guy, they did with their uniform.
With their uniform. Leave her.
Those one no be
now.
Uniform no be army.
I said they confess. They say
no
be
army. No be army. Make them listen to wisdom.
No become or anything.
James chapter 1 verse 5. Palmo Clinic nurse. These are nurses that went for the Civil War inauguration in 1960 something. Therefore, they know how to bandage wound where you don't go see anything. So I don't know what to make on the worry. Now my problem is, why did they snap the drip? None of the drip wire.
No need to see the drip.
Why see for the guy hand? Person they snap that kind of picture, don't go snap drip from up when I blood in the people's body or ordinary drip. Now
come Valege.
I'm not for leave Valege now.
Leave Valege
now.
No, she won't make am 20. Make am 20. We dey 4 here dem mad.
Oh Jesus! I continue with that.
Sorry. Valege. Yeah.
Okay,
you
complete.
Sorry, na fella dem mad. I'm not telling you sorry.
Go sorry, nurse taking a piece.
Nurse taking a continue.
Wait, go. I didn't wear white.
Don't let them see.
You don't carry red and blue barrel.
Where they go?
Green. They don't join her with green.
Meanwhile, take care and be careful. My mother.
Is a nurse.
She died. She was a matron.
Very good. So you have experience of nursing.
No, me I dey tell you. I know about
somebody that was trained during the Civil War
in Nicaragua.
Kule. That bandage where is to with the experience of your mother where you dey look at. Is it not the bandage of what is Chineke? Somebody don't they call me.
So you want to answer that? If you answer that, go.
At least now nurses.
If
answer. Now our man.
Hello, sir. People don't hear you. You are Today FM. Live.
Annie, what is it?
I'm on Today FM. I know that.
Okay. I think say you don't know.
Within a private call.
Within a private call. Introduce yourself.
My name is Paulinus Nsrim, Commissioner for Information, Rivers State.
Bam, which year?
JP.
And where is the work?
I don't know, sister.
Yes, Potaga people, Commissioner for Information, my dear Chairman of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, Rivers State Branch, and serving now as a Commissioner for Information. Dear sir, what to make you call us? What happens? We are with you. Very good. Now, thank God you have entered into our space. We want to ask you a few questions. Are you ready to answer us?
Any question where my friend go ask me, why I not go answer?
Okay, no, don't do that to us. We are not friendly. On radio, we have zero tolerance. We have 0.00 tolerance on friendship. Our journalism is 15 years. Even the main journalist, the original journalist waiting for this state never reached 15 years. I challenge them.
See the challenge.
Okay? So many things don't happen for Rivers State. First, we want to ask you one question.
What governor is very strong.
Very fine, huh?
Okay.
Yes.
Because
working tirelessly, protect their lives.
Good.
Okay. That is soup.
That is okra soup.
The okra soup.
You know, say our governor na family man, homely man, where Sabi take care of his family.
Very good.
Thank God all of us are part of his family.
I mean, Rivers State na one family.
I said thank God all of us are part of his family. So we want soup.
If you know eat the okra soup, you go also enjoy the service where they provide for Rivers, the infrastructure where they build, and the leadership where they
very good.
All the part of the okra soup.
Very good. That's right. And now, you know, say this virus, this governor they try well. You know. Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
all of us know say for this state, this virus, the governor they try because person when they sleep, they walk in the try where. And one of the things where they say moku they do now say moku no they shake person because of this virus. No so. Moku no they near body. Anywhere would they go, moku they wear masks. No be so. Social distance, aka everybody where you dey. Now, Commissioner, on the 13th of May, we never take
Wednesday.
Couple of hours.
Some hours 9%. Wednesday, we see some people gather for Obuwale Cultural Center. Everybody near each other. Snap, say cheese. I beg you know anything what happened there like that?
You know, say, but belly people full everywhere. But belly people full everywhere.
Everybody.
If you go Obiwale that day, you go see people sit down. In fact, before they sit down first, as they enter, they go check your temperature. You go sanitize your hand, enter. There are just few people will go that thing. The people will go there. Now,
Comich, no verse, no verse.
Wait.
Tell us which people be that. Tell us which people be that.
The former ESCO of the state PDP and the current ESCO.
Okay.
Very few people that go there. So all the thing where they see say people gone body and another now Photoshop.
Photo, which year photo be that? Where people wear masks?
It don't matter. Like, me and you know now, say for technology now. Nothing what they no go fit do with photo. If he carry you now, gum body with
Michael Ogolo, yes. They
talk say they go fit talk say the way one are this. You just say they no be gay.
Okay.
You understand that kind of thing?
So for your eye now, not be the eye of River State to people. For your eye, that photo na Photoshop.
Na Photoshop. I don't give you example now. Say you get that somebody go tell you and Tata Foda and
Michael they kiss.
They feel say they kiss.
Yes, so say we'll be homosexual.
Say Tekina and Michael just say they don't be gay. Somebody go circulate them.
Go, Oga. Lai Mohammed to they walk well.
Please allow the commissioner for information to give us information. Now works with this. Now, okay?
Try Lai Mohammed.
Inside the market. In fact, that photo is so.
Na photo supermarket.
A pass shop. Na photo supermarket. Na be that.
Anything where you call them.
Very good. Now, inside the photo, we see the current PDP state chairman, Ambassador Desmond
Akawo.
Now, photo supermarket.
No, what did I tell you? Be say I don't give you example.
We know.
You say you get years experience. So
yes,
this thing they happen every day. Somebody fit put you now with Michael
with another man wife. Example.
Is that something like that? They say, oh, you just say Tekina and this woman, then they do something.
Hey!
Meanwhile, you don't know the person.
You are right.
In fact, Oga, you too much.
You don't win.
We finish that. Never into that Photoshop. More another question.
Okay, good. Now, Oga, no first so that thing will happen for LMA. You hear am?
Which one?
The demolition
that
of the
small,
hotel.
that small demolition.
You go ask me whether I hear them. For information.
Very good. Okay, sorry, no first.
I go call ask Commissioner for information whether I hear them.
Can you imagine?
When you hear and tell us?
You also don't come tell us say the tax force people go to close that hotel.
One of them.
When they fight them, shoot them with AK, back. Say one of them don't die. Not true.
If they ask me what thing I talked before, whether not true again.
Okay, one confirmation.
The time why I do press conference, say somebody that is never can confirm again.
Okay, back na man or na woman. Na man or na woman will die.
If you hear say any of them be woman.
Sorry, na man will die.
Na man now. None of them be woman before.
Okay, what do you mean name?
Only they give name now.
Why, sir?
Okay, why now?
Security reasons.
No,
I said security reason. Say why? Security reason is something where person will explain.
You are right. Okay? Our problem is security reason. Dead body will don't die. They go still go kill the dead body again.
Where are they go?
The person will die. We won't know if they say that security
reason.
reason.
This matter day now. The bereaved family. Well, let's leave this matter. I don't. What you need to the talk now? How Rivers people go they maintain social distance.
Yes, we are coming to that. Okay, no, but we are coming to that. Let us leave the dead. Let us leave
the Bible says, let the dead bury the dead.
Let the dead bury the dead. Okay, let's leave the dead. Now, okay.
I get one question.
After now.
No, come down.
Don't worry there with us. Okay?
Need they run today.
Don't first so. As soon as our hardworking governor lock down, God release us. The next thing, governor now say 16 new COVID-19 cases don't bust out. No be so. Then NCDC, the papa of
no, that's federal chapter.
Federal chapter NCDC say na 10. Commissioner, please help us. Where the 6 enter?
6 is future.
You know, say matter of this number. I know they're competent to talk about them.
Okay.
What I go advise? The commissioner when they in charge of health.
Okay, I better give us a number.
Professor Chiki, I get the number. No worry.
He go fit.
Help us answer me. No worry. Go ahead.
So my own make me focus on waiting go benefit us now.
All right. In terms of benefiting, when I finish my question, I'll cool it and get. We don't get testing center. Sis, where are they? You know, it's easy to come. Sis, okay, you know it's easy to come. Oh, you know they come anyhow. This is where boys they chew.
Salam talk to the man.
Go ahead.
Waiting don't happen now for Rivers State. They say, you know, say before now, when they take sample, then they go Irua, Pedo State.
Okay.
OZ village.
Go confirm them. Now, it is for our doorstep here for BMH.
Correct.
So, the appeal they say, if you get symptom where they don't talk about, they get all this cough, you want to get short breath.
Malaria, they worry you. Malaria, they worry you.
You don't know as your body, they do you. Quick, go BMH. Make them check whether na coronavirus or any other thing.
Malaria.
You don't go far now. The thing there for here.
Okay.
Now, again, make nobody fear. Government facility day, doctors day, nurses day. In case where you get up, people will go take care of you day. The facility day, the medicine where they go take care of you day. So make nobody fear to come out.
Okay.
To go through the test.
Okay. Very good.
Then the other one now, this social distancing, where would they talk? Now for the benefit of everybody.
Okay.
No shake hands. No go crowds places. If you cough or sneeze, you carry your elbow. Wear face mask. In fact, you don't say for Rivers State, now if you know wear face mask, they work out for public, no offense.
You are right.
Yes, so that make everybody understand, say, when you take responsibility as individual person, as you not taking that day, you take responsibility. Michael takes responsibility. Tatafo takes responsibility.
Annie no take.
Annie like take.
If all of us take responsibility, so we'll protect ourselves, and then carry the coronavirus come out for Rivers State.
You are right.
Let me say go watch up. When I go import the elbow from America, where I don't know.
Organa Corona cause I'm away, make everything hang.
That's why I'm not there for this.
Go ahead. After Corona, we go wash them.
Nakim is question.
Virtual washing now.
And the way I'm looking at you be Photoshop. The way you just did, Annie, you're a Photoshop.
On a very, very, very serious note,
Yes.
we get a lot of explanations to do for people to understand certain things will happen, why they happen, and how they happen.
Yes.
But we no go like drag you too much because you don't already talk plenty.
We go like drag about.
If not, the real explanations of what happened, why it happened, because certain things we will do, if we no explain why we do them and how we take do them, the message where they come out to the other people, they always they wrong, especially Lagos people. They say shout our thing negatively for us.
I would the first shout.
Now Lagos is shout pass. Once we demolish small house, the whole Lagos don't shout out, but the one that demolish nobody they hear. So
thank God say you know.
We know.
Don't let him know.
So
we take our hand, they want to destroy ourselves.
That's what they
We know.
for Lagos. Lagos will tell the
So my advice will be say you go do more explanations. Try. You know go easy.
Tell me the one where make I explain them.
Because now we hear different issues that relate to the LMA issue of the demolition. The young man don't get up, talk another thing. The ones who they hear, we know they show what they hear.
He go talk something to defend himself, man. But you know what in there for this life, truth and truth. And then for this our work, we always talk say facts, they sacred. You don't go keep on facts around.
Sacred heart.
No problem, sir. So this lockdown one I don't release now to help us go do some tests, Abi. Because as soon as lock us inside, come bring testing machine. We not gonna know how I want to take waka go to the test. So when I know if it give us this lockdown, come out until till June. No go do test. Now my question be that.
Make the ease of lockdown stay till June.
So that people go fit test.
You know one thing where I don't understand for our state. Make I tell on now.
Yes, sir.
We lock down Abuja, lock down Lagos, lock down Ogun State for 4 weeks.
You are right.
4. The whole state. 4 weeks. As a lockdown, then they still do test. What's in there for this thing they talk? The lockdown no go stop you from doing test. If you come out and say you want to go do test.
You don't go
now, we need to understand anything where Governor Wike they do now for Rivers State, now for the interest of everybody. As in this so, in the pray, make this thing end today.
Nobody
in the come out for morning, in the come out for night. No governor for this country don't take this COVID fight the way Governor Wike they do. In they put everything, both resources, his time and internet to make sure say Rivers State they safe.
Wait a minute, finish. Go ahead. Kule
after give her
after that.
Yes, so
never chop.
The lockdown.
Never chop.
Commissioner, my question now be say for the Rivers people they ask question. I know say this one of you don't concern you, but if you get information because they say they go buy food from farmers.
2 billion.
2 billion in the month.
2 billion to buy food from farmers to store, so that when this thing they go begin lockdown go happen, people for Rivers people will get access to food to buy. Ogasa, for the past how many days now
where the food?
We don't see where the food then is. So we want to know information.
This information is they carry now.
Okay, so we want to know, sir. So please, so inform us, sir.
The food purchasing committee and fishermen, and they will carry this food all over the state. When government they do this one, farmers they make their money. Those where they vulnerable go get food to chop. If you go the warehouse where they store this thing, you go see say every day that's so food items from all over the state. Myself, if you go there, go surprise say this kind of thing there for Rivers State. And the governor where get vision, now go feed do this. No other state they do.
Commissioner, sorry, how they go to know the vulnerable people because
are you as it is
as I did here, so I'm vulnerable. I think don't hear from my voice. So I'm vulnerable bad there.
That your voice now fake voice where they bring.
I And they say room of boy. Back of Bright Amewule house.
That street now. Listen what they talk. That street where they stay now,
Yeah.
I don't know how many years where you don't stay there.
You don't tell.
10 years. 10 years now. 10 years. 10 years. Only me 10 years.
I don't stay there for 10 years. You know the people where no fit provide for themselves. You know.
Commissioner. As he be me 3 years ago, no be so he be me now.
Tell us all this at the workout. We don't know the way.
We don't know.
We don't know the way they punch.
People will get house there before. Now them of them no fear.
They are so old.
No. Answer this question. You know the people
where they there.
Call your
so how
name
do
first.
you watch now? If that's so, how do
Call your name first because
yes, I know them. Me, Kunle one. There's other people too on the street, but I follow.
God said go vex for you.
Give a need to finish. You ask people. Not gonna they hear. No be with they talk about commission and I walk in the door.
As you did so now, 1 or 2 people, you don't support them this period.
Nah, they don't get support you again.
I feel like saying you don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, since March, there is no MC work, no comedy. Since March, no comedy, nothing.
What is this?
Take our money.
Right.
That's the way one time.
Now from the food where I chop now, we chop together. Yes, true. Commissioner, not put word for my mouth. I'm hungry.
You show you the
hungry.
Give me a ask that question. You don't do.
Come.
Okay. You don't reach my hand to make a ask question. My name na Anya.
Read through.
My name na Anya. Now me they manage. Now me they manage this my brothers here. Now me they manage them. They funky for them. And they manage. Now me be their manager. Now me be their manager.
Ha! Oh, guy, you never see this girl or this Annie.
I get one. Now we go ask the last question. Okay.
I beg.
Why during the period where we do lockdown, why government no do tracing and massive testing, and also why they no do fumigation during that period of lockdown?
You see, because you never enter this our orientation program. If you follow what you talk since, now not be one machine they ready, then go do testing.
Yes.
And when they ready, they will do testing. Now the machine don't they ready, first testing they go on.
As you want to enter this next lockdown, I beg or that one go make sense.
So do it.
Test una for Koro.
How much? Test me for
some of us don't go test for Uniport.
We know our problem.
For Lagos test, when they test for them, give me something. You don't know.
Some of us don't already go Uniport go test.
No, Annie.
Who's signing your paper?
No, Annie,
they
find us. Anybody test us, they give us something.
They give us something.
Funky for anybody wey test them, they give them something. Wait till now, give
1 million for all of us.
So be thief.
Annie and Kule, we don't go UPTH, go test. Hold on. Annie and Kule, we don't go UPTH, go test. Then give them testing fee, 20,000 as a test finish. Okay, me and Michael won't come BMH contest. I beg. And I get the 2020.
You see how so then they bribe people not to come do
they bribe us. Now we then bribe.
They no bribe.
Now palliative. For Lagos they give.
20,000.
For Lagos they give. For Lagos.
So make I quote on Anna.
No
quote. We don't fear you.
Oga, we don't fear you.
No quote.
Quote us. Yes, so
suit us.
Get us. Now.
You don't need to cut us, shine us.
I'm issuing a press statement arising from this.
Please, issue that Michael and Kule and Annie been go UPTK. One come BMH. May they give us 50. 50.
No, man, I go where they give 20,000.
You don't push us. We want access state government facility. Ew! Gobish. You don't try. You don't try. Gobish, you don't try. Rivers people don't hear now. Now, Commissioner for Information, our own brother, Pastor,
our chairman of our board,
the chairman of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, River State Branch. Now, him, Governor Wike, really look, no say true. Now, complete person will know what be information. All the things we tell us, including Photoshop, now him talker, no be funky for talker. Therefore, anything we talk will be used against him in future, not us. So, Commissioner, you don't try. We have to rest case. We want to call others.
Why are you threatening me?
I am not. I have told you. And now you like to be used against you in the future.
I'm surprised that my friends they threaten me.
No, we will read them for you. Not the way they read for law court.
Are we in the law court?
No, we are not. Commissioner, thank you for calling. May the Lord bless you and your work. Try, but try reduce your voice.
The way them palliative, I beg, make the go round.
The way you don't they shout, like your guy. Take them easy. We can.
They shout like my guy.
Yes, the governor has this voice since. The governor get this voice since way in small. You don't old. You can't go learn. You can't go learn new voice. No shout again.
And me, I know they shout.
You know, so now everybody when they follow governor, they shout. We won't call our friend, our guy, after now. Commissioner, thank you. God bless you for calling. Thank you.
God bless.
Now,
the
Rivers people, now they collect the picket. Now, Rivers people, our friend, chairman of Ikwere local government, Samuel Wanosike, aka Ishi.
You know, go ask house.
You get the number. I don't know. I get the number. Maybe I will get something here.
Annie get the number.
I don't know who. I never said
No only Annie in the answer.
Somebody should give us Anosike's number. Now, we not say you be chairman. It's not in doubt. Is it in doubt, Annie?
No.
It's in dispute.
No.
It's not in dispute.
We're not in court over it.
At all. We know. But that one don't mean say because he be chairman.
No, but Tekana, put it in proper perspective.
Okay, what's the perspective?
Since this corona thing happened, many chairmen are not working.
You are right. Oh.
We want to look at the chairmen that are working in line with the principles.
Foul guy is working.
Nala.
In the work.
Voko they work.
In the work.
In the follow governor for bar.
Wait, please. Now,
one by one.
Asani.
Michael Voko.
Go straight to Simon Wanosike. I'm looking for his number.
Simon Wanosike is working.
Where is that his number?
He's the only chairman when governor do lockdown.
Which kind of wahala?
The local government do no lockdown. He couldn't lock and down by himself.
Hold on.
They talk.
No.
They do PDP work.
Can you allow me to talk?
Somewhere lockdown. Guy, give me a number.
I don't see for radio. People go believe you.
That's not true now.
Not true.
Are you sitting there?
Oh, come on, now I go call you now.
The last time you said I ain't go give money to give us today.
No, what I give you.
You sure say never stop
He never give me anything.
Governor lockdown, Falga and Obiakpo.
No lockdown,
lockdown, only those two. One was CK lockdown
by himself.
Lockdown, he greet around about and around about.
Give us supporting action.
Now somebody stand up.
If
anybody there near you, make them tell you make you pick funky for call.
No
carry us choco. We know your hustle.
In the past bank, come to say Ikwere po one die.
No, by themselves.
They are about to die.
Nobody.
And in one local government, people want die by themselves.
So, and Photoshop.
Now be the problem.
Go ahead.
He started shouting. My friend. All of you are out of this place. All of you get out.
Get out.
Get away.
You want to die?
You want to die. Nine face security people.
When I was Samuel,
pick this call.
Your phone is ringing. Funky 4 is calling you. Therefore, pick this call.
Voko just a follow up on up and down. You get a gun in home.
Go ahead.
We are coming to
Which
Voko.
one is okay?
We're angry with
he's
you.
walking. No, he's walking.
Why do you? All of you get out. Get out.
Manager, where's your sanitizer?
No,
For you, my last power.
A last power.
Him and Delilah.
Yeah, Delilah, all of you get out.
And Delilah stand with her when they push that.
And God bless you.
Come, Delilah follow and die you.
Go ahead.
Delilah is stupid.
Go ahead.
When you know stand stand one.
Delilah, go to stand.
But why Delilah go follow and stand?
Go to Samuel. What is it? The two of them named resemble.
Nobody can now.
Now, what is it? Get out!
All of you get out here.
You, my friend, step aside.
Which one with that last woman where they test? Don't allow her back.
No, say she know we have face mask.
I'll slap you.
Say, other people collect money, but you will not enter.
You not.
You're not wearing face mask.
You want to try me? I will promise.
Let me fall.
I'll shut down. I'll shut down this.
Heaven will not fall.
When else you don't see heaven before?
You don't see where heaven fall down before.
In your life, you don't see where heaven falls.
I want to see what will happen. Where heaven said, I don't they come down.
Oh, if you see heaven, you don't got normal. You gonna leave us here and move. Now, Chairman,
what does it say? Where is the man? Where is your mopole? The mopole don't have uniform.
You give me this.
I been give us your own.
The one they tell to call it for night.
No, for night. Now afternoon.
You're mad. You're a madman.
Free night call.
Where is the manager of the plan? Is the manager no day? There's a manager no day.
Who is
assistant manager?
No, two man.
Go and call it.
And they go bring Tale Clark.
No, be Tale Clark.
The guy that
area suit.
It doesn't mean now they pay money. In fact, in the receipt, they pay. It's a receiving guy. Now they go call the guy.
Deposit this way.
Deposit this way.
Now you say, where is your soap? Then because the soap they the water.
But you have.
Is he a lie?
Now you have the water. They don't
You have
say the soap.
Is he a lie? If soap they say water.
Man,
oh, what is going on? Try now. Follow him. Now, Chairman, have you not seen why they use soap? Put this out.
Another one. Give another one.
To mix it, let it go.
But there was no.
Where's the water? Where's the water? Show me. Why you not go put your hand there as Chairman? Wash and look at that.
One person, the one near.
Instead, somebody to go wash.
Don't come near me. You want to kill me?
You want to kill me?
Come on.
You want to kill my people? I run away to your village.
To your village.
I'm coming back now. All of you, bring them. 10 year man. 10 you must not act like yoga.
No, he's very come now. Why?
He has the right.
He has the right to act.
No, he has the right to act.
You have a point.
He's inspired.
Now, most of them now, they know they finish their talk now like the governor. Come take out to quarantine center.
You complete them.
Chairman, you don't get right to shut the bank. I don't know where thinking come from you.
If it is endangering the life of the people,
he will close the bank.
Yeah, close it down. And heaven. And let me tell you, heaven will not fall.
Heaven will not fall.
Only the earth.
Only the earth will fall.
You come and go down.
None.
Come.
I beg go put our line. How many bags you gotta go?
Not three.
I beg go put our line. No go give. Not two. Please. Unanimously.
Unanimous.
I beg go put line. Many people begin.
There's application.
Let me call this one.
Many people begin confess.
Let me call this one.
Because of time. We get our rights to give out.
Our rights.
There's an application for rights. So
from the friends of Chibuke Roti.
See,
no, nobody's right.
No one. No, don't call anything. Everybody, calm down. No, they don't answer.
And a open line now.
08109510951 or 08170000951.
Hello.
Now we call this one.
Hello. Hello?
You know the answer.
Call back.
No,
I don't answer.
No, call back.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, sir.
What is your name?
My name is Roland Apatovie.
Where are you from?
I'm from Engene in Aoda West.
Roland what?
Apatovie.
Frank.
Where you they stay?
Yes, sir.
Where you they stay?
Ozoba.
Ozoba. So
yes, sir.
So you
look us finish.
Which inspiration? Where you been get to do this the way you do?
Now faith.
That person I don't try to call tire. I know they fit. Better. So I just.
No. All right, go ahead. Come.
You just.
Allow them where inspiration now, right?
Just they come.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
No, allow me to talk with you into that not to do again.
No, I just get the inspiration to just do am this morning.
Okay, to try. Who come?
By faith.
Now you carry and come.
Yes, now we carry and come.
By faith.
As Jesus they always talk, your faith
has made
you well.
So come to
carry down your faith. They come now. Come collect your one bag of rice.
They come now.
But Moku warn you.
Wait, when you reach here.
Next time.
No, on air.
Not do this the way you do it.
Keep your faith to yourself.
All of us get faith. Go find. We can. You have your faith. Waka for road. I think get faith. When you lock us down, carry a waka for the main sea first.
0810.
Very good. Thank you. Come now.
951.
Okay, 2 bags to go.
2 bags to go now.
And this rice is courtesy friends of Chibike Rotimi and
They don't answer you.
Hello? Carry your earphone.
Tekena, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good morning.
How are you?
No, they don't do woman again.
No, go do mine.
If woman they listen, let them come.
Good morning.
I need to hear you.
No, they are more
something they worry you not. Now woman they go here.
They have a way they shout on my local government chairman like that now.
Bless you, don't want your price.
Bye bye. Next
up now.
Come and meet him since you are defending him. I'm collect rice from him. Don't cancel you.
They talk another. They talk another.
One give you rice. You don't already get rice. You don't cancel the rice.
Hello.
Yes.
Only carry the letter. I be secretary. Network don't finish that person. If women they listen on their own,
they listen. Some of them, but
no way.
Yes.
What is your name?
They give them dedicated. My name is Obonna Odinaka. They call
Obonna. People say don't chop.
Obonna Odinaka.
They come from where?
I never chop.
Where they come?
This one.
Open your mouth, make us hear.
You come from Alakaya.
Alakaya here. When near you?
So Alakaya, what do you make you call us?
As I call you, wanna give me rice now? Make a chop now.
Who's rice?
You know what I made you give on now?
See this boy.
What can empowerment mean small now?
Jesus.
I mention don't give us.
I mention don't give us.
I mention don't give us rice.
Now I mention friends. Then give us rice to give people.
Ngwamana share give me now.
You don't marry.
I never marry. I didn't even watch myself.
So no need for to give him.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Now people will get on
You no marry my family. People get children with the suffer.
I like this boy. Don't try.
You no try anything. Say make you give us rice.
I know what talk to the person where they talk
Fake
now.
news.
Hello. Yes. Call from.
No one rice.
What is your name?
Now, Comrade Kabari calling from Baleku.
Comrade Kabari.
Calling from where?
Yes. Baleku, I'm within your studio anyway.
What happened? You are within my studio.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing within our studio?
Waiting for them.
You go outside. You go backyard. You go around our studio. Come go backyard. Come the call us.
I want to kidnap the lady there.
Oh yeah, fast.
Bye.
Remove this guy. They don't waste time.
You know what? They're hungry.
You know
where? We know hungry people.
They thought that was fire. They come from Canada.
Hello.
What to kidnap Annie? Yes.
Annie and good morning.
What is your name?
It's Oboyerena.
Huh?
Oboyerena.
What do you want?
Where the coach can name this?
Where are you from?
From Calabario.
Okay.
Whose side?
From Tumbia.
So where you there now? Where you there now?
I did in the outside.
Mbodowa.
Where be Mbodowa?
Na Rumulumeni side.
Rumulumeni.
So what do you want now? She call us this morning.
Nah, hungry this.
Where your wife dey?
My wife there now.
Give her the phone.
1, 2.
Madam. Now your husband be that?
Yes.
Kiss him.
How many children I get?
No.
How many children I get?
We get 3 children. I'm expecting one again.
You're expecting one again?
What's that they born up and down for?
You want to eat rice?
Hey, madam, why the alarm they born like that for this economy?
Hello? Don't do.
We know.
Oh, yeah.
They say they don't wait.
Huh?
We need help. We need help.
I need help.
Okay,
wait. What is the last 3 number of your husband phone? Give her your husband.
Hello?
Sir? What is your last 3 digits?
Okay. 4858.
The last 3.
4858.
That one are 4.
The last 3 digits there. The last 3 numbers. Call them.
Call them again. Your last 3 numbers.
For your phone.
Okay. 858.
858.
All right, thank you.
You sabi where Today FM day?
For this small backside of it.
Find them.
No, not the mobile.
Did they go UPTH?
As if we want to go UPTH. Ask anybody.
Rumosi.
Rumekini.
Along the road, ask people.
Come with your phone because now your phone will take confirm saying are you.
You don't finish.
What will be the name? Huh?
No, come on. Another person there. You don't finish.
No, now only one now.
Okay, one we don't give her.
That other one.
That's the remaining one. Last one.
One more bag.
One more bag. Last.
Women. Okay, make.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, man.
What's your name?
Isaac.
Isaac, it's okay. Nice talking to you, Isaac.
Where you they come from?
From the great house.
How many children you get?
Never born.
Not two.
Your wife there near you?
You know, he go out, he go look for what we go talk.
Now your wife go look for what do you
look
do?
at this man. Look at this man.
No, wait. What do you they do for house?
They close work now.
Okay, then close your work. Wait till they work. It's of your phone. The last 3 number of your phone.
492.
492. You sabi where Today FM day?
I sabi my brother.
Oh yeah, come before we come out from here.
Don't collect
They can't collect the last bag of rice. What is your name again?
Isaac.
Isaac Kamalu, yes.
Isaac Kamalu.
Junior.
Oh
yeah, come quick. Congratulations.
Who again?
Don't finish. I don't call you no answer now.
Okay, no answer. All right.
Come, Uche, stop calling me. We don't rice don't finish for today.
Now why they call no call our line? Call radio line to collect this rice. All right, but I people.
Don't do.
No,
any gathering where you see from today.
Avoid.
Is Photoshop. No, avoid. Just go there.
Because you know what made a picture they inside Photoshop now. Your
face.
face.
No, if it just go there, go stay. When they say, were you there? Say no.
It's Photoshop.
It's photo supermarket that they use. They use me, photo supermarket, and put me there. So
no be Photoshop.
Now supermarket now because there plenty. Photoshop now me and you.
I see. Now the picture they look again now.
I said that photo supermarket. You know,
to look
now if you look the chairman of PDP, Ambassador Desmond, now so he ID.
No,
really?
It's okay. It's not.
Look where
not so. They carry the other chairman from your house.
Opua, yes.
Come gum.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Now you don't see in hand.
Then all the people that wear face mask, we say the same as should be face mask. You know see them.
I see.
So they carry
now tell me how if not be Photoshop
read them.
The same no mask today. Tell me now. Now Photoshop. Now Photoshop. Okay, the banner.
My own number.
The banner where
later.
Listen, the banner, the backdrop where Governor face day.
Nah,
you don't say rumple.
Nah, first tenure.
2015. First tenure. You don't see them.
There's Photoshop. There's Photo Swallow.
And photo what is the supermarket?
That one from shop and swallow.
And supermarket. The one we see for Facebook. All Facebook people. Make sure. Make you need to do all this kind of thing.
Don't stop it.
Stop it.
You
just carry a photo supermarket. Go put for Facebook. Say, hey, people, they gather. Now, quarantine them. Now, the chairman of the party, Desmond account, not be black and black. Not be black and forever. In that photo, not be yellow in yellow.
No, in first more.
In first more. Okay. They'll cream where they rubber for that Photoshop now. The person
If they want photographers, I will do that thing well.
Wear rub cream for person.
If that boy Photoshop you here,
he go uncle you.
I see.
He go fine.
It be like I see.
He will be like uncle.
He will be like uncle cream. The person who dey near am belle big. I know.
But the secretary.
No, let's go.
No, that dedication.
You go be woman there. Let us call this
for party thing.
This vocal of a boy. I'm mayor of Fanga. You think he can joke with Funky for child? Jesus. Oh, vocal. If you like, don't pick this call. Now you go know. You are
okay. You want beg for rice?
Don't do see my friend, but now I got you. Photoshop. Photo Annie. The way you are looking.
Yes, why
you are not looking normal.
Why? Photoshop.
You are a photo of this thing. Now, Funky, you dey visit our call. Mayor of Fanga. All the things where they do from now is Photoshop. So I want to get try ya.
He no answer to.
I hope say your money no for that UPA where you won't go block, where you won't go scatter. You should say your money no there because
local government your money no there.
You should say nobody down there keep on your location. No make you not just go scatter somewhere. Yeah, people money call loss so.
Okay. No worry me for this right so. You know follow for this right so no disturb me.
Now, but our people, governor say
come
on Sunday. Mogo enter house.
Na Sunday night.
Sunday night. Enter house.
Day your day.
The people they for Lekaya would never know their condition.
No, they don't open up everywhere open.
No, come on. Isolation center.
Elekaya close.
People will put there.
With all the money.
You see, somebody tell me say even inside there they keep social distance.
What's the difference between PHED and NEPA?
Not the same.
Are you sure?
No. There's N and P. How can't you see
not the same? They are not the same.
They lock up PhD.
Empty.
But they don't release that now.
They don't lock up.
No. Face it.
See, there's
they don't lock up.
There's a difference.
When in the press, why you go just say deceive His Excellency, the governor of this state, by lying to him? Who are you? Yes, I'm a PhD. Excuse me, in this part of I don't even what is PhD. Take him to isolation center. Why not talk the simple thing? Yes, and they work for NEPA.
Apart from that, if you say you got it doesn't you know here PhD, not PhD here.
PhD here.
Say PhD. So you want to form your
you want form level.
So you go get PhD.
Yeah, you know, school never close. My friend take him to isolation center. I said, the drag the man.
I suggest something.
Now one of the DSS course.
Now let me DSS. The man don't first go. He already reached.
He don't reach isolation center. Na lie no value.
He don't near.
Na for road.
No be road. No almost reach.
Didn't take the gates.
Then they come say PhD na NEPA.
You go tell SSC. SSC. That guy na NEPA. He. I know they like DSS. Release him. I know they like DSS. You see the guy with the pump? Governor say, what does it? Take him, they don't pump the guy and they say,
they lift up for
Now, my question is this. Suppose that guy get virus.
See?
Policeman we
go hold up.
Go overzealous. Pamam.
Lift that like that.
Lift up.
Just have on me belt, everything. Bam.
Since the Photoshop. PDP ESCO. Since the Photoshop.
I want to suggest something.
No problem.
That name PhD be cancelled forthwith and let's go back to NEPA straight.
But open your mouth and say NEPA. Let people know what you're saying.
NEPA now we know. Even me, the PhD they confuse me too.
NEPA say NEPA.
See, let me recommend that name. Disco they call them disco.
No, even
they have a disco.
No, it's not a disco. Distribution company.
Disco.
So that's short form.
Okay. Why the man not tell governor say, who are you? I'm a disco. Disco. Go and show me the club. I will demolish it.
Because he know the disco in the PhD.
Governor, after you arrest everybody, finish. Give for Elekaya. The next thing, go cook okra soup. When this governor know myself, let me call him again. Whether he will pick, you go cook okra soup. Marcos Elenchi was in the background with you, testing the okra soup.
The aroma, the sweet.
Marcos never chop that money. Can't go rich.
Government
house. Now, it's a way governor. That's a governor they cook in the kitchen. Let us see. That's one number.
Not our time. If governor take, we will do 1 hour.
Ah,
who they switch off that phone?
Yes, Prince, he not a big funky fuck off.
Please try again
Try
later.
the other line.
I not get to the another line.
This one, everything went up.
Ah, no go talk for radio. Look at what
I didn't see. I didn't say anything.
He don't blind.
I don't go that level.
Say. End with the last number na 9.
No. Call the.
Me, I no.
The 9 get plenty zero.
We no get. You come.
Wow, now they do that one. Make I appreciate my people. I've just been added. I want to appreciate the Nolan Group for bringing me on board.
You don't start this thing again.
Wait now. Say distributors wanted nationwide. If you're a distributor, and in this pandemic period, if you're interested to work and you want to make extra money for your health industry organization, and you want to work from home and earn monthly or weekly, then call Ambassador Peace Ekine on 080 68 007 459. In case you want to make extra money for this lockdown, call Ambassador Peace on 080 68 007 459. Thank you very much.
Again, the number I call, I forget. You know, say for Facebook now. Now that was the main 419 full everywhere. You don't see that one, and you never see I'm
now this one.
Invest 10,000 in 30 minutes. You get 30,000.
You get this 9 minutes. This is what
you don't see that one.
I don't see Allah.
Now get
even the people who say make you bring money.
9 minutes. That number where you get. 9 minutes what you get.
Now guess picture that they put for
Annie
for the Facebook.
Somebody call me. Hello, good day, sir. I say yes. Hello, who are you? He say I'm coming from Zenith Bank.
Okay.
I say Zenith Bank and a normal number. I can say okay. Yes, what is the matter? He said we sent you a text last Friday. I said about what? Interrupt the call. Later I can't try her. Because you say na 419 person.
Can you imagine?
Now 419.
Another one they send me message for First Bank steady and I no get First Bank account.
Can you imagine?
I dey with my father. One call come. Hello, how are you? And now the same man. Already through caller don't put in number as scammer.
Okay.
As it is show, you go say scammer.
Scammer.
I say call scammer.
Show.
Hello, how are you? Now I come whisper to my father. Say now 419 in Yara. I say, who is there at the background saying this is 419? Come back, fire the person.
Before we go, federal government said they don't know where those Chinese doctors they.
The 15 of them.
Minister of Health.
Which day me and my children
they don't know where they are. So when they stop, they answer that question. Say, every day. These doctors, they don't know where they're. As a matter of fact, they are not hosts to these doctors. What's the happen, Seth?
But Mustafa come again this morning.
Chinese people are on the loose.
You know what it's a federal, not a federal government asked from Madagascar that go. No, let them decide to say they want to donate the medicine.
That's when Bossing go approach the president.
This man did not change them. Say, come, not that way would Nigeria need them. Now they just come where you go. No, but you need small. You need small and go.
You need small and go.
That's well, if I get some bottles, make that spicy. From Nigeria.
Yeah, my children, Nigeria. They call the ask for this when dissolve inside water. Rice, salt, sugar. So these people that apply say they dissolve.
This Chinese don't dissolve.
No, they don't Nigeria dissolve.
They don't expect. They say all of them except no be doctor. What's the apple? Some are technicians. Some they work with CCE.
Construction.
They don't use side. Come back to side.
They look them like all of them.
We don't see them again.
Nigeria.
When
person just sell Nigeria.
Can the price of
Make Cameroon buy.
Smile watch they operate. At least before the lockdown, smile watch they operate. In case you get clothes, they go collect them. In case you won't watch between now and Sunday, I can assure you, smile watch will wash all your clothes.
So wait, this facility is temporarily closed down. It's the right thing. It just says you don't look. Look at the use like or they were pass. You know what problem? It's not this safety wire. You know that safety, but that red and white construction people they use. Caution. Now take from the tree, from the beginning of the building, round, go round the gate, come put one big banner. This facility is temporary.
Wait till make we can use left waka for
Nah,
You know what the position of a banner promise you?
what do you make you say? My brother, not be smart, you know. We get our pass every day. And from an eye, when they look the weekend, in they look.
I know that they go. Look at all
Okay,
this.
every time to tell they still they do their renovation.
They don't shut down.
All these places are not leave. They are not shut down.
Leave all the shut
down.
down. Their renovation is ongoing, so make people expect bigger
Not
things
when the bigger go
Until
mention
then, now
them.
we'll shut down everywhere. All
I am
hotels
not they go.
are shut until next Friday.
What of shut
Same time.
Please
We'll
go
no
and-
rice next Friday.
What of
No right because next Friday they
Day,
open
We
also.
feel push us. Some PDP fit do something.
No, don't say that. People should start rubbish.
It's a Photoshop.
You see the Photoshop.
Today, 9.1 FM, Port Harcourt.